Just think.
Privacy.
My people, oh, my people, the sit-ins and the boycotts have worked. We are ahead in the polls.
Don't count your chickens before they come home to roost.
Oh, somebody bring me some milk, because here come a big Oreo.
Yes. Give him a chance. We are ahead in the polls. But who knows how these people will vote in the privacy of their own homes.
Oh, sit down, Tom.
I am well aware of how I am perceived, but now is not the time for our petty squabbling. Now, this came to me this morning. In order to ensure victory, we must stop resisting the offer and urge the country to accept the traitors' proposition. The major motivation for racism in this country is the deeply held belief that black people should not have anything that white people don't. Not only do whites insist on better jobs, higher incomes, better neighborhoods, better schools, but they leap to gobble up our language, our dress, our music, and our dance. Therefore, I propose that from now until the polls open this evening, we circulate the rumor that the aliens have arranged for our transport to the wealthiest and most beautiful utopia in the known universe. White folks will go ape, wondering what we will encounter in this new land. They will gnash their teeth. They will even argue that to limit the space traders' offer to blacks is an unconstitutional discrimination against whites.
I cannot stand here any longer and be influenced by a man who has dedicated his entire life to sabotaging his own people. Now is not the time for trickery and tomfoolery. My people were brought here involuntarily, and involuntarily is the only way they're gonna take me out. Yes, Lord.
Without power must use cunning and guile. Yes,
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast on the forecast, and hopefully y'all can hear me okay. Let me make sure I am good. So yeah, man, shouts out to anybody and everybody who come in or whoever listen, Shouts out to Cassidra. We'll be back on Wednesday. Y'all already know Wednesday at 8:30. Um, today I guess I'm just trying to be, I guess, more consistent again, like I was before. So I just wanted to come on here and we'll keep going through the whole history lesson thing, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if I'm gonna be on here long or whatever, but as always, if you hear something incorrect or if you don't agree with me or you hear something correct and you want to add on to it or whatever, or if I'm missing something, you are welcome to come on here, and we can talk about it. So, yeah, man, I'm gonna just go ahead and get started. So, and before we do that, right? See, I'm not gonna. I get it, right? I know a lot of black people are scared right now, so I'm not gonna actually kick us while we're down or seemingly down. I don't think so. But one thing I know for sure is that black people would definitely have a problem with me being a dictator. Damn. Anyway, so before we go into the history thing, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna play the news.
These games with you. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the fact that certain black content creators that I call pro-black
Damn, I can't hear it.
told black America to not vote or to vote for Trump. And so Trump won in 2016 with the help of many black Americans. And that enabled him to put 3 far-right justices on SCOTUS. And those same 3 far-right justices gave Clarence Thomas, Sam Alito, and John Roberts the 3 votes they needed to gut the Voting Rights Act. It is not the Democratic Party's fault that the Voting Rights Act was gutted. In fact, the Democratic Party gave us the Voting Rights Act, the Civil Rights Act, the Fair Housing Act. And to now try to twist this and blame the Democratic Party.
All right, let me see if I can hear it. All right. And I just wanted to point that, man, I ain't gonna say nothing. You know what I mean? I get it. Black people are scared right now. Some will, maybe I will in the future, but at this current point in time, I feel bad for us because a lot of us are scared and don't know what don't know what to do next. Um, of course, stuff popping up on the screen now. What the hell? But I just wanted to point out though, speaking of Clarence Thomas, because everybody know, I just want y'all to keep in mind that Clarence Thomas was Thurgood Marshall's replacement. You feel me? So I know that like today, what I'm saying, like we like, oh, Thurgood Marshall and integration and all this other stuff. But keep in mind, Clarence Thomas replaced Thurgood Marshall. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just, you know.
When you content creators literally told black America not to vote for Hillary in 2016 and Kamala in 2024, it is your fault. Your fault that African American.
Well, I'll take that. That's fine with me. Because unlike some people, like what I was, all the stuff that I was saying, I meant it. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to act like it's just some old, like super militant thing. But it's something that can be said for you waking up enough to realizing you have to put your monies together to create your own institutions. You know what I'm saying? Because you cannot rely on somebody else. He that giveth can also taketh away. You know what I'm saying? So y'all already know what I ain't gonna say the white boy, you know what I'm saying? Y'all know what words y'all say. Y'all say the M word. I can't do it. But I'm gonna be quiet.
Americans no longer have protections against racial gerrymandering. Stop playing these games. This is too serious. This is very, very serious because they're coming after the Civil Rights Act of 1964 next. And in order to preserve that, if we can, black people need to turn out in big numbers, huge numbers in the mid.
Well, it sound like some candidate better be up there for us then. And that's the thing though. If we're not putting our money, our resources, and as a community behind a particular candidate, then most of the time, all of the time, those candidates are going to go with who endorses them, who pays their money, you know what I'm saying, who finances their campaigns. You know what I'm saying? They're going to go with who hires them, like any other thing would. So if you're not hiring your own politicians in the first place for your representation to represent your community, that's the thing that you're starting off wrong there. But who's telling you that you can't do whatever? We can do whatever we need to do, like if you think about it. But well, except you do need their acceptance and love to be integrated. So never mind.
Midterms. And I don't even know if that will be enough because, again, they now have this 6 supermajority conservative wing on the United States Supreme Court. And once again, it has to do with the increasing number of blacks who are supporting Trump because of the disinformation of the pro-black imposters. Stop playing these games.
All right. So whoever those pro-black imposters are, but if you are waking up to be like, yeah, there is no lesser of two evils, and we can control our own destiny, and we have no other choice but to control our own destiny, and it's important for us to control our own institutions, right? Including to be able to dump our own feces, then nobody can tell you what to do. And if you're worried about them running up on you, they can't beat you, right? They can't beat you up. Well, what did they do to Malcolm X? Well, why didn't we do the same thing to Napoleon? Right? So anyway, I'm gonna be quiet though, because I know a lot of black people are kind of scared. Now here in my state, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Right, they had all them campaign vote yes for something something or whatever. You know, they just kept saying this is Obama, vote yes. You know what I'm saying? And if I was to take Obama now, I'd be like, well, I would, but it's a non-starter, right? Because they're gonna get mad at me. But anyway, um, and here I feel bad for some of the Democrat first black people that I know and love and care about because they found out the hard way that their vote don't their vote don't matter anyway, right? And I mean, this prison gerrymandering thing has been an issue, which I've been talking about since like 2016 on here, but whatever.
In a statement reacting to the Virginia Supreme Court's decision to block the state's newly drawn and voter-approved congressional map, the Democratic House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries says, quote, over 3 million Virginia citizens cast their votes in a free and fair election, yet the state Supreme Court has chosen to invalidate their voice, disenfranchise them, and violate their due process rights. The decision to overturn an entire election is an unprecedented and undemocratic action that cannot stand. MAGA Republicans have adopted voter suppression as a strategy, as also evidenced by far-right extremists on the Supreme Court gutting the Voting Rights Act to open the door to a Jim Crow-like attack on black representation across the American South. We are exploring all options to overturn this shocking decision, no matter what it takes. House Democrats will win in November so we can help rescue this nation from the extremism being unleashed by Donald Trump and Republicans. Our fight is not over. We are just getting started, end quote. The Democratic House Minority
Lord have mercy. The fight is just getting started.
Leader Hakeem Jeffries of New York.
They brought me here involuntarily. They're going to have to take me out involuntarily. Lord have mercy. They coming for the 13th Amendment next, y'all.
Joins me now. Congressman, thank you for being with us.
House back in 2018.
I'm going to be quiet because I understand. A lot of black people ain't trying to hear that shit right now.
Before people panic in the comments, there are still supposed to be rules and restrictions involved.
Oh, so what's going on, Ron? What's going on? So, and I appreciate you for listening, Raw. I think I chased everybody else away already. But I said I wasn't gonna say anything, but I felt bad for the black people here in Virginia who voted and had their voting rights stripped away.
Down the congressional redistricting approved by Virginia voters 17 days ago. It is a big blow to democracy as voters there opted for this new map, but it's also a blow to the Democratic Party ahead of the 2026 midterms as they seek to counter the GOP efforts to gerrymander themselves in a victory at the behest of Donald Trump. In a statement, Virginia's Attorney General Jay Jones said this, quote, "Today, the Supreme Court of Virginia has chosen to put politics over the rule of law. This decision silences the voices of the millions of Virginians who cast their ballots in every corner of the Commonwealth. And it fuels the growing fears across our nation about the state of our democracy. My team is carefully reviewing this unprecedented order, and we are evaluating every legal pathway forward to defend the will of the people and protect the integrity of Virginia's elections." As California Governor Gavin Newsom put it on social media, quote, "No vote in Tennessee plus 1 GOP seat. No vote in Florida plus 4 GOP seats. No vote in Missouri plus 1 GOP seat. No vote in North Carolina plus 2 GOP seats. No vote in Texas plus 5 GOP seats. Virginia's voter-approved maps thrown out. MAGA has rigged the system." And at the same time,
They've rigged the rig system. It's crazy.
as Virginia's democratically passed maps have been blocked, Republican state legislatures are moving full steam ahead in passing maps specifically designed to eliminate majority Black congressional districts without consulting their voters at all. It happens after the U.S. Supreme Court gutted the Voting Rights Act earlier this week. Today in South Carolina, senators debated a proposal that would allow a special redistricting session to go forward that would eliminate the state's only Black district held by longtime Congressman Jim Clyburn. While in Alabama today,
Oh, Lord, what is we gonna do, y'all?
Tennessee lawmakers have already approved new maps which abolish the state's only majority Black district. While Tennessee State Representative Justin Pearson called it, quote, "a political lynching that violated the rights of every Tennessean." Here he is on the floor of the State House.
That lynching word is going loosely out there now.
Legislated and legalized the worst things in humanity, including our enslavement, and we are still here. Right in this country where, as one Black woman said, your ancestors enslaved us, denied us of our rights, called us 3/5 of a person, and yet we are still here. You put us on cotton plantations.
Wait, why? Like, that's my question for those of us. Why? Why are we fighting so hard to be a part of their stuff then? After all of that, like, I would want to get the... Anyway.
And tobacco plantations.
I'm lost. I'm naive.
Rights and our right to exist as children of God, and we are still here. You destroyed Tulsa. You killed and lynched Black folks on Poplar Tree. Shelby County, Tennessee had the most lynchings of anywhere in this state where you're taking this district, and we are still here.
Oh, by the way, Tennessee is where the original Klan was made in the 1860s. Like Pulaski something, Tennessee. That was the original Klan, right? That popped up before the 13th Amendment passed, you know what I'm saying? But we are still here, damn it.
We had 3 strikes laws, mass incarceration, denied us of who we are, and
goddamn, that was Bill Clinton and Joe Biden. Hell, that was like a couple years ago. What, we still here? What the hell?
Are still here, and today you will take the only majority Black district from us. But I want you to know, and I want my nephew, sons, and the future to know, no matter what you do, no matter how much you try and break us and make us bend and make us quit, we will still be here.
We still got you, sir. Because y'all know if white folk is sick, well, I mean, we got AIDS, or we could be our own system and have nothing to do with it. Because I remember in the 1900s when they was going through the stock market crash, that's when your cities was booming. So they wasn't sick then, you know what I'm saying? They had to deal with their sickness. But I guess, yeah, since we still gonna be here, yeah, I guess we damn sure got AIDS if they got a cold. Cause we will still be here, sir, to save democracy. Boom, y'all.
We will still be here. That message, that delivery of that message, that articulation
She would cry, but they don't have tear ducts, so.
of resilience and resistance on a day in which democracy took a very serious hit is where we start the hour with Democratic Congressman Maxwell Frost of Florida. And joining me at the table, host of Politics Nation, president of the National Action Network, the Reverend Al Sharpton. Rev, let me start with you.
There's a lot of Reverend Al Sharptons out there today, so. You know, I ain't got nothing to say. I know a lot of black people are afraid, and y'all can cry the tears for her. She ain't got no tear ducts, you know. Anyway, yo, did y'all know that the U.S. Post Office is considering sending guns through the mail?
Now, the proposal reportedly says that the firearms are supposed to be unloaded, packaged securely, and in some cases, they are supposed to be sent under specific conditions. But here's why people are debating this. Because the supporters are saying that this is a major Second Amendment victory in saying that we should have had this a long time ago. But the critics are saying this can create more opportunity for illegal trafficking and make it harder to track weapons. Honestly,
So that means it'll make it harder for them to track what I'm doing and what I got? That what you're saying? Like, that's the thing, though. We don't think about how something can benefit us, right? And I'm not saying that we shouldn't consider how something would hurt us, but the fact that we don't consider how something would benefit us at all is a problem, I think, you know?
These are one of those moments where you can see America splitting into two different opinions. Some people see freedom and others see danger.
They got Malcolm X.
One thing's for
Well, we could have got LBJ.
sure. If this rule actually gets approved, it'll be one of the biggest firearm mailing changes that America has seen.
Might have to hire old boy who got the Kirk
Handguns
boy.
will be mailed through the United States Postal Service for the first time in nearly 100 years if a proposed rule under the
YouTube Premium is at.
My bad, y'all. I ain't got nothing to say.
They talking about they finna start letting niggas ship guns through the mail. I swear to God, they talking about USPS talking about they gonna let niggas start shipping guns. I know where I'm finna go work at, my baby. That's all I'm gonna say. You feel me? I'm about to copy me a J. Don't send your, don't come to that one USPS on Livernois by 8 Mile. Don't go to that's the bitch I'm finna apply to. Don't go to that motherfucker because I'm for hell yeah. Alarm might tell you on the same shit. For sure. You gonna fuck around, take your pole, my baby. Don't ship your shit with my shit, bro. In my location.
And for the first time in nearly 100 years, the U.S. Postal Service is considering a rule that would allow anyone to send handguns through the mail. That's if a proposed rule under the Trump administration takes effect, which argues a 1927 law is unconstitutional. Democratic attorneys general in 24 states sent a letter this week opposing the move.
Breaking news, guys. The U.S. Postal Service just released a new rule on mailing firearms, something that we're suing over in our lawsuit, Shreve versus USPS. Here's a quick rundown. Right now, the rule proposes to allow anyone to ship a handgun or firearm inside their own state to anyone that's legally allowed to own it. Interstate, you'd be allowed to ship a handgun to either yourself or to someone who can take care of it for you until you pick it up. The rule does not allow you to ship NFA firearms or undetectable firearms. In our lawsuit, Shreve versus USPS, we're suing to allow any law-abiding citizen to ship any firearm they want to anyone, so long as it's legal.
Look, y'all, according to...
All right, so I know it ain't gonna help us, so oh Lord, look at what they gonna do now. Never, oh Lord, what are we gonna do? Oh Lord, this is a golden opportunity.
a law barring the USPS from mailing concealable firearms unless they were from licensed dealers in an effort to curb crime. In January, the Department of Justice revisited
Wait, so they can already do that?
Calling it unconstitutional and arguing that it violated the Second Amendment. And
he said, this brother here, shouts out to whoever this brother is, said this will open up more Kyle Rittenhouse style crimes. Not necessarily Michael Johnson style. You know what I'm saying? Okay, my brother. I'm about to get into the history in a minute. I just wanted to play something here And I just found this one here
urged
interesting.
the Postal Service to change its regulations. The Department of Justice said that as long as Congress chooses to run a parcel service, quote, the Second Amendment precludes it from refusing to ship constitutionally protected firearms and from law-abiding citizens, even if they are not licensed manufacturers or dealers. Last month, USPS proposed a new rule that would allow anyone to mail concealable firearms like pistols and revolvers. USPS currently allows some firearms like long-barreled rifles and shotguns to be mailed. However, they must be unloaded and securely.
See, black people, I see this as a dangerous thing. Yeah, dangerous for them. No, I'm joking, obviously, because black people can't be racist at all. It's dangerous for us because we're the victims all the time. You know what I'm saying?
Packaged. So,
You know, I had to argue with some brothers all day long about, they were talking about some happy birthday, John Brown. I was like, John Brown ain't real. And then all these brothers came at me like, how dare you say this about our precious John Brown? You know what I'm saying? We need to believe in the great white hope. You know what I'm saying? No, I ain't trying to disrespect the brothers I was talking to because but still, brother, at the end of the day, you was defending it at the end of the day. Come on, man.
similar protections would be in place for handguns, which have evolved since 1927. The USPS said in a statement that it is reviewing public comments, which were due Monday, before making final changes. Nevada Attorney General Aaron Ford said the rule change would undo the work states.
Oh yeah. Happy Mother's Day to Raw in the building. Shouts out to Raw. Happy Mother's Day to Raw. Happy Mother's Day to um Karma 804. Happy Mother's Day to Cassidra. Happy Mother's Day to Matron. All the mothers and anybody out there who's a mother to happy Mother's Day to y'all. And the black men playing the mother and the father role. Happy Mother's Day to y'all. We might as well play the feminine role.
Like Nevada have done to curb gun violence. Nevada experienced the deadliest mass shooting in modern U.S. history when a gunman on October 1st, 2017, opened fire from the Mandalay
The first
Bay
mamas in the
hotel in Las
world.
Vegas, killing 60 people. Following
See, this is going to create more violence to black male carriers. Now, the black male carriers had the gun in the first place. I'm just saying, you're right. But you see the mindset of black people. Oh, this is going like our mindset is always a reactionary one. Like, what's gonna happen to us? Not what we gonna do. Like, it's a what we gonna do. Like, oh Lord, what we gonna do now? You know what I'm saying? We got to get out there and find a good master, you know what I'm saying? So the master make us comfortable now. He don't beats us, he takes our money. We works all the time, but he don't beats us as bad. I mean, yeah, well, he does beats us because he did pass a whole bunch of stuff to get us enslaved. But you know what I'm saying?
the shooting,
Why
Nevada
is black people mindset like
background checks on most private gun
this
sales.
going to create violence towards us?
Our state,
Okay, so where we going?
And to suggest
So if we know that, then if we know, like, this is what kills me, because when y'all be like, well, we know that this ain't gonna happen, or we know that this is gonna happen. Okay, so why don't we start adjusting to that and making plans accordingly? Okay, we know that there will be spies among us. So, okay, we'll adjust accordingly. And when they come, we'll handle it. You know what I'm saying? Whether it be feeding them misinformation, whether it be, I mean, and the truth is, how are they gonna stop it anyway? We need to keep our money together. You know what I'm saying? Do things for each other. Look out for each other. Build our own institutions. Go back. I'll tell them right now. You ain't even got to spy. I'll tell you right now. We're gonna put our monies together to do that. You know what I'm saying? So there you go.
we make it easier for criminals and abusers to access firearms is a slap in the face to gun violence survivors and law enforcement, Ford said in a statement. Under the proposed rules, someone could sell and ship a gun to a person within state lines. The rules are tighter for mailing guns across state lines. People could only mail it to themselves in the care of another person and would be
All right. And Ross says, she appreciated giving thanks, but she celebrates it every day to all the mothers here and who has transitioned. Not that they come to caucus or it says so. It's not because they say so, it's because we say so. You know what I'm saying? Every day we celebrate Black womanhood. That's European culture where they don't even celebrate they anyway.
$10 for a large. $10.
So all right, my bad, y'all. Shouts out to my good brother here.
Foundation got a on Threads, and I came across this. This is your daily reminder that Kevin Roberts, president of the Heritage Foundation, got a PhD in African American history and then used it to author Project 2025 and dismantle civil rights. Racism is the point. When I saw that, I was not surprised at all, but I was really excited to read that. And the reason why I got excited to read that is because I know how much information there is when it comes to learning about American slavery. I have said
Now, we're probably excited for different reasons. I'm excited because it gives you an example, right, of how you use your knowledge against your enemy. You study their habits, their movements, and you use it for it. That's what somebody who was at war would do, right? They would study their enemy, and then when they're ready, they will try to take a position, you know what I'm saying? And the army will be like a general or something to try to dismantle their enemies. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is our reaction, because like, oh, wow, he studied Black history just to destroy us. Well, the whole Black history is them destroying us. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now let's be real. You know what I'm saying? It's not that they can easily destroy us; it's that we give them the keys. Like we like, well, right is right. You know what I'm saying? Well, what they're doing isn't right. Well, that is true, but anyway, you know, that's a whole nother conversation.
Said on multiple occasions that the American empire, the United States, does not want its citizens to look too closely into slavery because if we did, our noses would touch the mirror. And that the architect of Project 2025 used the information that he got.
And you know, he probably found out that there was a lot of rebellions, right? That's why they don't want you to know, because Black people wasn't just like, oh, yes, sir, massa. Some was, you know what I'm saying? But it's probably way more yes, sir, masters today than it was then. Back then, it was brothers like, yo, I'm not doing this, you know what I'm saying? I'd rather be dead than to be a damn slave. And then today, we like, well, I'll be a slave, but I just will say I'm not a slave, you know?
From learning about slavery and learning about Black history in America, he used that information to be this powerful. I cannot emphasize enough that the best thing that you can do as an American, if you do nothing else, is to learn about slavery. Now, there was a community note that had been added to the that particular post. I'm going to show you that too. It says, Kevin D. Roberts is the president of the Heritage Foundation and a former history professor. He earned his doctorate in history from the University of Texas at Austin, focusing on Louisiana's slavery history. His 2005 dissertation, Slaves and Slavery in Louisiana.
Oh, so I know he heard about the slave revolts down in Louisiana then, that's for sure. But what they're studying is how to maintain it without the rebellions. You know what I'm saying? Which they figured it out pretty well. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you. They have figured it out. This illusion of inclusion thing, this integration thing that Charles is so nervous about today, has done an excellent job of keeping you docile and comfortable enough. Right? Because you're still gonna complain and still say, yeah, we gotta do this, we gotta do that. But it keeps you comfortable enough to not be like, yo, we are going to do this. I am doing this right now, as a matter of fact. But I'm hoping that you're out of your comfortable zone. Now, I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even think Trump is enough. Like, you know, I joke around calling him the Great White Hope. You know, and by the way, all of the Great White Hope loses. You know what I'm saying? If you look up the history of the Great White Hope, they always lose. I don't even think Trump will be enough. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, he's scaring Negroes, and I mean, this is the most Black revolution I've seen since 1965, and I wasn't born then. You know what I mean? And it was so many things I like because it's a whole context, you know what I'm saying? You got the war on drugs that destroyed our families, you got the feminist things that destroyed our families, you got the integration thing that destroyed our schools and the black teachers. And now we like, yo, we need way more black men teachers, but most of them lost their jobs after things became fully integrated, you know, because they became smart enough to realize, like, well, we'll just suck the money out. We'll keep them in their little areas, you know what I'm saying? But we'll suck the money out of those little areas as well. And then take out the smartest and the most talented and make them work for the system, you know what I'm saying? The most physically gifted, you know what I'm saying? We can make them bow down. You know what I'm saying? All we got to do is give them a little bit of money or whatever. And then when they retire, they going to just have $10,000 water bills because they want to have a water fountain in the house. But yeah, they study us. They That's why they so obsessed with us. You know what I'm saying? Like you could be on a black platform talking to black people, and here they come. They have an obsession with you, right? And one thing that they have learned from their obsession and their studying is that Negroes have fought back. And what are the most effective ways of keeping Negroes docile without fighting back, you know?
Evolution of Atlantic world identities, 1791 to 1831, studied Atlantic world slavery, specifically focusing on the Haitian Revolution and Nat Turner's rebellion. He looked at the difference between assimilation and revolts. Like you ever have so much information inside of you, so many feelings, so much
Yes.
like I feel like I'm gonna burst. So right now,
Yes, all the time. I've been only saying it for 10 years and nobody believes me. And they still don't believe me. They really still don't believe me. When I be trying to tell you this is about systems, right? There ain't no good or bad, and it ain't no individual thing. There are systems that is designed to protect you or hurt you. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't have your own system, then you're going to be hurt, right? And everybody else is going to study everything that you do and copy everything that you do and imitate you, but still talk like, oh, you talk Ebonics, but then sell, you know what I'm saying, 10 million records trying to talk the way that you do, right? Say how rap music is so ghetto and y'all are thugs, but now they dressing like it and making billions of dollars off of it because they hurt you on two sides of it. The criminalization side, they make billions of dollars locking you up, you know what I'm saying, from the private prisons, but then they make billions of dollars marketing what they locked you up for. Well, anyway.
Reading a book called Bound for the Promised Land. It's about Harriet Tubman. It's her biography, and it's written by Kate Clifford Larson.
By the way, John Brown was not real.
I love Harriet Tubman. Ever since I learned about her when I was a little girl, I've just been like, you know, I find inspiration from her. And when I'm reading this book, right? And one of the things that's coming up quite a bit after Harriet has freed herself and has been freeing many others, the biggest issue that she is bumping up against is capitalism. She can't afford nothing.
Lord,
And so she's constantly having to raise money, all of the creative ways to get access so much and done.
All right, so this is above the point though. You know, this is beyond the point here. Let's see.
Opposed to assimilating into the system, revolting, and they did was the right thing. And even though at the time it was illegal, like Harriet Tubman was committing a federal crime at that time, like even though it was illegal, we still understood that ethically and morally it was right for them to do what they did by disrupting that entire system, as opposed to assimilating into the system, revolting and rebelling against the system. We understand that
See, the problem is I don't think we understand of not assimilating into the system though. You know what I mean? Because when it hits the fan, then all that assimilation talk, it started coming scary. Like, oh Lord, what is they gonna do to us now? And see, those of us who use this thing about, oh, I'm against integration, against assimilation. Well, okay then, you know what I'm saying? maybe I'm naive because I don't care. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna be honest with y'all about all this stuff. Like, because I think it's needed. You know, y'all would be pissed at me. I would have pushed the button because there is no hope. You know what I'm saying? So I just would have pushed the button. Forget all of this. But and I still don't think this is enough, to be honest with you. Obviously, it's not. Obviously, because y'all think I'm supposed to be scared at this point, like, oh Lord, let me submit. And then hell, the gaslighting almost worked, you know what I'm saying? Like, but then I remembered, like, damn, I don't want to be a slave no more.
To be the moral thing to do in an unethical situation such as the one that they were all a part of. But we are now currently a part of a much larger unethical system, one that governs pretty much all of our actions, and we are being put under more and more surveillance. And there are little whisperings of revolt and whisperings of rebellion, but for the most part, everybody's like, well, all you have to do is play within the system, assimilate within the system, work with the system, and then you
Sure
can win
do.
the system. That's like saying, if you are a better slave, if you are a gooder slave, then your slave master and you will have.
Very true. If you are a gooder slave, then they would love you. Master Biden was a good one. He ain't beats us as much as Master Trump beats us all the time. I ain't trying to go see Master Trump. Like I anything but Master Trump, y'all. Shouts out to Karma 804. Happy Mother's Day, Karma 804. Even though you are a great mother every day, like Ross said, so you know every day you should be celebrated.
And then you can win the system. That's like saying, if you are a better slave, if you are a gooder slave, then your slave master and you will have a more positive working environment. People are currently working and they're not being paid for their work.
And mind you, the reason that we talk the way that we talk is because English is such a limited, dumb language, right? That's just a bunch of different languages smashed together and made up. You know what I'm saying? And it's not better slaves, it's gooder slaves. You know what I'm saying? You have to be good, right? Not and you're the best slaves possible already. Trust me. Ain't nobody more of a slave than the old black man, that's for sure. It might be a young black man, but that's for sure. But you got to be gooder slaves, not better slaves. You're the best slaves possible, but you got to be good at it. You know what I mean? Got to be gooder.
People are not being given the value of what their work is worth. People are not being given housing, and they are paying way more for housing than that housing is worth. Housing is a human right, just like freedom for everybody to be able to live their life and not be owned by another human. That was a human right. It is a human right. Housing is a human right. Food is a human right. Being able to live safely, that's a human right.
Yo, from what I'm understanding and what I'm seeing from the world, your rights is only good if you can enforce them. You know what I mean? The same way if I'm in the jungle, I don't have the right to not be eaten. You know what I'm saying? Now you have to realize that is a what they say a dog eat dog world is a jungle world. People are out to control the resources, right? Because if you got to pay them for money or pay them for water, now you have to not go to work, you know what I'm saying? And all that stuff entails like go to sleep early the next day, lose all the hours while you're at work, then you're tired when you get home, right? In order for somebody else to maintain and keep you paying for them while they're on vacation somewhere in Africa or digging up more resources or at a think tank, you know what I'm saying, trying to make Project 2030. Because the problem is we don't realize there was a Project 2020, a Project 2021, a Project 1987, a Project 1984, a Project 1972, Project 1975. All right, yeah, my brother backstage. Yo, what's going on, my brother?
What's up, man? What's going on?
Hey, nothing much, nothing
Yeah,
much, my brother.
it's chilling, man. You know, just got home when I got when I got that notification that you was finna go live. I was at a partner man house, man. I was over there chilling for a minute. I said, man, let me go and get on around.
Oh no,
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
just
it's
chilling,
all
man.
good,
You
my
know,
brother.
just lounging a little bit. Yeah, you know, we're doing too much, man. You know. Yeah.
Well, you know, it's all good, my brother. I crawled from under the bed tonight to do this because I was so scared, you know.
And oh man, yeah, and peace to all of happy Mother's Day to all of the black mothers all over the world. And we know we don't just celebrate it one day, we celebrate it every day. You know, so so shout out to Queen Mother Raw and Cassidra and the Revolutionary Matron and all of our sisters that we know and don't know, man. So peace and happy Mother's Day to all of the ladies, man, all of the mothers.
Yeah, facts, my brother. Facts. I agree with that. Happy Mother's Day to y'all. All right, so I'm gonna keep playing with what the sister's saying.
Access to healthcare, that is a human right. Access to education, those are human rights. And so we're at a point right now where a lot of people are going to start understanding that you cannot win in an unethical system. You're going to have to break the law. Yes, try to do things the system's way, but also you're going to have to create infrastructure so that when you free yourself from this system, that you will have a safe place to land. So that
Now, in other words, we've been cooning so long that you might have to say yes, sir, for a few more years, but you have to have a plan to get out. Like you're saying yes, sir, for a reason. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm going here so that I can have the money to create this, or so that I can build this, or so that I can have a certain plan to where I don't have to say, yes, sir, I get the next booster right away, sir. You know what I'm saying? That's what she's saying, you know.
that's something that I've been thinking about quite a bit when I'm reading this book. I'm sorry I'm talking so fast. I got other things I got to do today. But like reading this book, I was thinking to myself, damn, like if there was a system that was set up for people who'd been freed, and that was what Harriet was trying to do after the fact. Like she was trying to help set her family up and all of the people that were freed. Like, you know, when it came to the Underground Railroad, that was a big part of what they had to do was like help people who've been newly freed try to integrate into society. But society was already unjust. It was already unethical in that you have to pay for things that are human rights. So that's kind of where we are when it comes to the fight against slavery. That was never solved and it's only getting worse. So like, I mean, I just ultimately learn about slavery so you can understand.
All right, so the sister has read a rocket science book, you know what I'm saying? And she has figured it out. But my brother, you got something to say about it?
Yeah, man. I like to say that. Well, first of all, big up to the sister, man. You know, and everything she was talking about. You know, because I agree 100%. You know, with what she was talking about. I was just thinking though, because when you brought it up and when she brought it up, how she said how white people study us. And I remember this one book. You know, there's a lot of books that they wrote. These white historians that wrote, you know, on black people, African people, you know, in America and all over the world. But I think one that comes to mind is this guy. His name was Thomas Sugrave, something like Thomas J. Sugrave, and he wrote a book called "The Origins of the Urban Crisis." You ever heard of that book?
No, I never heard of that.
Yeah, it's called "The Origin of the Urban Crisis," and it's a definitive work. Well, a definitive work, according to this white man, you know, on the whole situation, on the position of black people in America. You know, like in a contemporary time, you know, he wasn't really necessarily focusing on like, you know, in 19th century stuff like that, but in contemporary times, you know, where like say from the 60s, you know, the 50s, the 60s, you know, the 70s, 80s, and on up until now. Well, yeah, he wrote a book like that. And like you said, yeah, they've been studying this for a long time. But what gets me is why we don't have no books about them. We got a couple of books. You know what I'm saying? But why we don't have more books studying them? You know what I'm saying?
The Bible. We got the Bible, brother. I'm playing.
Yeah, we got that Bible, that good old Bible.
I'm joking.
Hey, I know it. Hey, I mean, it's only a couple of books that I know of. You know, Dr. Jacob Carruthers, you know, his book on intellectual warfare, and Dr. Marimba Ani, which is one that I have in my library now, Urugu, which I think is one of the most thorough, you know, pieces of work on white psychology. You know what I'm saying? You know, and of course, you know, remember Dr. Wright's the psychopathic racial personality. But I'm saying that's one thing I think we need to do more studying on them. You know what I'm saying? More study on them where we can educate our people. Because, our people, we some crazy people, man. We could look at something, you know what I'm saying? Hey, did you see that video I sent you today? Where they got the white boy dancing at the cookout?
Oh yeah. I saw that one. Yeah.
And the title was, "Is he invited to the cookout?" Hell no, he ain't invited. But we so crazy that just if the white boy could do the electric slide, or the white boy could play the saxophone, you know what I'm saying? Or the white boy like a big leg black woman, he can come to the cookout. You know what I'm saying? Because we could, and all the time not knowing that he got an agenda. And so, yeah, man, it's just like, yeah, we need to do more research on them people so we can report, so we can help educate our people. You know what I'm saying? We got to teach our people who you dealing with, because you dealing with white folks and don't even know who the hell you dealing with. You don't know their real nature. You think they cool. You think they just a human being just like you. Hell no. But yeah, but go ahead on, man. I want to.
Oh no, I agree with you, my brother. And I'm glad you came on here because and also shouts out to Frances Cresswell's name too, another sister who did it, and a lot of black psychologists.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Carter G. Woodson too, really, you know what I'm saying? But I know he's specialized in black people stuff, but the fact that you brought it up, you know what I'm saying? Because check this out, right? The welcome, because I'm pretty sure this brother gave him N-word pass and invite to the
Nigga,
cookout.
I'm not gonna swing on me, nigga. Swing on me, nigga.
Wow.
Nah, nigga. Don't fucking spit in my face either, nigga. I'm not afraid of you.
Spit in my face either.
I'm not afraid of you, nigga. All right, cool. Well, nigga, now you're making me.
It's a part of the cookout they don't show you when they leave in the cookout.
Nigga, I just want to get out the fucking car, nigga.
Man, see, y'all be thinking these people your friends, man. Boy, y'all gonna learn the hard way, man.
Nigga, I'm not gonna swing on me.
Lord have mercy, my brother. What you think about that?
Yeah, hey, I seen it today on IG, man. I seen that. I seen that one, and it was one that came after. That's the one that I sent you. The one that came after that one.
Yeah.
about the dude dancing. But this is what I say. I'm gonna bring it to one of our Negro celebrities. Okay, you got this brother who used to be. He was a former professional football player, man, a running back, and one of the best running backs of his generation. His name is LaShawn McCoy. They call him Shady McCoy. Shady. I know you've heard of him. Played with the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah. And later played with the Buffalo Bills. Okay. I remember this was about probably about a month ago. No, it was more than a month ago. It was a couple of months ago when he was on his show. They have a show with he and Emmanuel Acho, his brother. Emmanuel Acho, also a former player, and a couple other guys. TJ Huzmanzada. Okay. Well, anyway, LaShawn McCoy was on the show, and he was talking about this guy. You remember this white boy played for the Eagles named Riley Cooper. No, Riley Cooper was the one
saying nigga, calling black people.
Yeah, who was running around throwing the N-word around. Okay, now Shady, he said this here. He go and on this TV show, this nationally publicized TV show. Now he was saying, everybody was saying like Riley's a racist and everything, like the public, and he was like, but we the guys on the team, we were like, no, he's not like that, man. He's not a racist, And then he talked about an incident where they were somewhere and Riley Cooper was fucking with him, saying, "Oh, you niggas and shit," playing with him. But he was saying, but we know he said that word, but they gave him a pass for the word, but he like black girls and he be all this old shit here. They was giving him a pass. And I'm like listening at this brother, intelligent brother, man, successful brother, but Negro celebrity. You know what I'm saying? This one of these here who I don't know how his parents raised him or whatever, but he giving this white boy a pass to say the N-word, and then throwing in the fact that, he like black girls and stuff, and he kicking with the brothers and all of those shit there. He's a brother. You know what I'm saying? This is the kind of mentality we dealing with. And one thing, forecast, when you see a lot of these brothers going, these young guys going to the NFL, coming out of college, it's like they go through a process. I call it almost kind of like another version of the buck breaking process. You know what I'm saying? They bring them in, they sit them down, they have classes, and they have some Negroes, former players, who talk to them and try to tell them how to conduct themselves and this and that. And you know, one thing, it seems like it never fails. Every time, no, like once they get in the league and they start playing, the first thing they do is go get them a white girl. You know what I'm saying? Go get them a white girl. You know what I'm saying? They don't talk none of that black political shit, that black politics shit. None of that stuff there. Is that old, you know, that not even the we are the world shit, but they sound like some white Negroes. You know what I'm saying? In the way they talk. You know, and it's just like, like, you know, see, this is the kind of mentality that we deal with. You know, I almost want to say, yeah, we doomed. But I'm just saying, you know, it's something else, man. You know,
Go ahead and say it. It's okay.
it's something else,
I'm gonna
man.
stop saying it. Just say 200 years, my brother. Just say 200 years.
In 25 to 50. But I'm just saying, because I mean, if this is how our so-called our celebrity Negroes act, just imagine how a brother or a sister, from any Soul Town, USA. You know what I'm saying? Anywhere in Soul Town, USA, who don't have the education that me and you have. And when I say education, I mean the black consciousness and the black our story education, you know, who don't know that. Who just, parents just grow them up, they growed up in the public food system and church and think everything is cool and, you know, I ain't got no problem with nobody. Just think about that. You know, it's just like I said, man, it's a daunting task. It's a daunting task. It's an uphill struggle. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and we doomed, but we ain't doomed.
Yeah, no, I don't
But
know. We might be. I don't know, brother.
yeah, it's over. It's over with. It's over with. Right? It's over with for right here.
No, look, yo, there's a couple
Go ahead,
things I want.
man.
Nah, there's a couple things I want to say about what you was like. First of all, that dude Acho might be the dumbest Negro I've ever seen. I showed a couple of his conversation with Negro, or whatever he said, a conversation with a. Well, anyway, yo, football is probably the closest thing to the slave block or a sports period because you know what I'm saying they measure you just like they do, you know what I'm saying, just like they did slave. The only thing that they don't measure is, you know, whatchamacallit size, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not sure they don't do that either, you know what I'm saying? But they just don't publicize it. But um like what was I about to say? I had a couple because you said a couple good points, right? Oh yeah, you know when I realized we were doomed though, right? Just like a year or two ago, like first of all, black people will say we, like the Cowboys, we the Steelers, we the Packers or something. Before we would say we as black people. And I realized we were doomed when I was over my family's house for like a holiday or something, and they was watching the sports thing. And this was when Jerry Jones got caught out there spitting on the little kids, trying to integrate the schools. And they were still fans of the team and say, I can't believe Jared Jones would do that. And still saying we the Cowboys. And at that moment, you know what I'm saying, I realized that we were doomed, you know what I'm saying? And the thing about football players is that $40 million slave contract thing, you know what I'm saying? And they have to be broken, you know what I'm saying? Like they have to be like, yes, sir. And it goes beyond the like even the way they're coached. And if you look at players later, first of all, they got a lot of brain damage, you know what I'm saying? But they can't even function without some what they call a coach, but like really white leadership guiding them. But as black people, as period, like yo, it's like we can't function without some type of guidance, you know what I'm saying? Which brings up, you know, like I'm not gonna go here right now. You know, this is a conversation I want to have with you later, but something like Elijah Muhammad, you know what I'm saying, how he gave this leadership thing and get because black people need to be led, you know what I mean? And like even like I said, on the block, you know what I'm saying? Like they measure this, you know, how big they are, their muscles and their vertical and everything, you know what I'm saying? And then I know you remember this brother here, you know what I'm
Let's
saying?
face it.
Because one thing they do is get like a white family that takes them in, and then, like that dude, Michael Orr, who had that movie, you know what I'm saying? Then they had a movie trying to show like how they were so good to him, but you remember this brother.
170 years ago, George was brought here in chains on a slave ship from West Africa. His last name, Tomlinson, was given to him by the man who owned him. Tomlinson was the slave owner's last name. My name began with the man who owned my great-great-great-grandfather. Now it's proudly carried by me, my children, my extended family. People stop me on the street because they know me as LT, the football player. But after football, people have begun to recognize me as LaDainian Tomlinson. Not simply for what I did as a football player, but for who I am as a man. I firmly believe that God chose me to help bring two races together under one last name, Tomlinson.
You as slave and him as slave owner.
America.
So it might be CTE here, so we're not gonna judge it. But you see what I'm saying, my brother. Yo, you want to?
That Negro there, LaDainian, boy, he baby. I remember that speech. I used to want to strangle the hell out of him. You thought I thought you think if you think I wanted to strangle Emmanuel Acho, I mean, I wanted to get a rope for LaDainian, man. You know what I'm saying? That Negro, that was something else, man. I mean, he's one of the ultimate examples of a brother in professional sports, man, in the NFL that just been totally tongued out. You know what I mean? And there's a whole bunch of, I mean, a majority of them. But I mean, just listening. No, he from over out of Texas. I seen a little mini documentary about it, going back to where his home was, his parents, his father's home, and all of that. And it's sometimes how you can sometimes sit down and listen to some brother, and it sound like it'll carry you right back to like we was on the plantation. No, he talked just like an old slave. You know what I'm saying? The way he talked just like old slave. You know what I'm saying? I ain't talking about his accent or the way his words, but I'm just talking about the whole, when you hear him talk, you know what I'm saying? He sound like an old goddamn slave, like Jesse Lee Peterson. Like old damn slave.
Tomlinson.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, okay, so yeah, we can go a whole lot of places with that. But yeah, that Negro, that was something else. But that's just a Negro who, he got his yellow jacket, he in the Hall of Fame, and he got his validation from hunkies and everything, That's what it is. That's the NFL, though. Like you said, it is an auction block. It's the auction block league.
Yeah, and he don't know his last name, first of all, so he don't know his damn last name. But that's what I was gonna say too, right? Because I now remember like you brought up that white dude who was going around calling everybody the N-word, and yeah, like dudes like LaShawn McCoy will try to, justify it because they like, oh yeah, they don't, they've been buck broken, right? But I remember when Deshaun Jackson, right? Because I was doing lives and stuff. Well, not lives, but I was at least doing videos and stuff back then, right? And I remember when it happened. And then even when Deshaun Jackson came on, he came on there, was like how the coach, that dude Chip Kelly, was racist as hell. You know what I'm saying? And how he kept getting disciplined, even though he was way better. You know what I'm saying? But this white boy going around, he didn't get punished or anything, you know what I'm saying? But of course not, But Deshaun Jackson said the same thing, about that. But he did say the coach and all that stuff was I don't know, you remember that?
Yeah, but hey, here's the thing, forecast. Here's the thing. What they got on Deshaun for. Deshaun said something about them Jews. You know what I'm saying? He basically called them fake Jews. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's
he
right.
called them
That's
fake
right.
Jews. Because he was kind of like a little bit into kind of like the Hebrew Israelite thing, But yeah, he called them fake Jews, and that's when they got on. They started fucking with him. Yeah, I mean, I know when he talked about Chip Kelly and all that stuff, all of that, what you talking about, yeah. But the biggest thing, he started talking about them white people right there.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, I forgot about that part. All right, yo, my bad, because I took too long. So we're gonna go through as much of the history stuff as because I was meant to go through that first part pretty quick, but I took super long. So we're gonna go through as much as the history. Now we left off on the good brother Mackendall. So, but when they were about
February 20, 1758, he made a promise to all those present, saying that he would return as a mosquito to do more damage than ever before. He was then taken here to the center of town to be burned at the stake. Slaves were gathered from throughout the colony to witness the punishment of their devoted leader. When Mackendall was brought out in chains, he was brash and fearless, and he talked to the crowd of slaves. The day was January.
yeah, what's going on, follower of no man? Appreciate you coming in, my brother.
January 20, 1758. He made a promise to all those present, saying that he would return as a mosquito to do more damage than ever before. The fire was lit around him, and the flames leapt higher and higher until he was completely engulfed. Then suddenly, with a loud cry, Mackendall broke free and leaped out of the fire. The slaves claimed he jumped into the crowd and escaped. The French soldiers claimed they retrieved him and threw him back into the fire. Mackendall was never seen again. 33 years later, a voodoo priest by the name of Boukman gathered heads of the secret societies at Bois Caiman, the same place where Mackendall drew crowds of slaves. Boukman began the revolution with the same maroon colony Mackendall had trained and organized before. This time, all blacks united.
Now, Mackendall was a warrior in his own rights, and I don't know if it's true, but when they were about to kill him and they asked him if he had any last words, he said, "I'm gonna come back as a mosquito just so I can do more damage." And he showed no fear. And I'm not gonna lie, if you want things to change, you can't have less than that mindset. But Mackendall used his knowledge of nature and of plants and taught others how to poison the slave owners without being caught. He was already planning the revolution 40 years before the revolution happened. And he knew since it would be hard for him to get weapons, he was trying to organize the people using poison as their main weapon. Now, eventually, another enslaved person snitched on him. And when they were about to execute him, that's when he gave those last words that I'm gonna come back as a mosquito to do more damage. But some say he escaped and went into the areas that later Duddy Boukman started building up his troops. Now, Mackendall put so much fear in Europeans, including the ones in America, that Georgia ended up passing a law to forbid Black people from knowing about plants and anything really that they can use to poison them. Like, they literally made having knowledge about plants and nature illegal. But anyway, like, and I say this, right, because it was a part of that, but it was also a thing about like where Black women preparing the food, knowing about plants, knowing how to poison them, and knowing how to heal, you know, their family or whatever. And you know, they always had this paranoia, which was rightful because that's what Black people was doing it. You know what I'm saying? By any means necessary, Black people was fighting back. You know what I'm saying? And you can jump in anytime that you want to, my brother.
Yeah, yeah. For to say something, I was just going to tell you something. For to say something. Now, what Mackendall? Now, listen. Okay, first I want to see what you think about that. When he said, "I'm coming back as a mosquito," what was the first thing you thought about?
Oh, I was about to show this next.
No, but tell me, what was you thinking about though? What you thought about when he said that?
Oh, well, to poison, you know what I'm saying? First of all, I thought to poison them, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, no, this is what it was. Check it out. This is what it was. See, Mackendall, and as all African people who were enslaved in the tropical region, in these tropical regions, like in the islands in the Caribbean, you know, the coastal region like Central and South America, you know, in the Carolinas. See, one thing that white folks couldn't do is why, like, say for example, in the Carolinas, where they had so many, it was so many Black people live like in South Carolina. And once it was like 90% of the population of the state was Black, because and they imported these Africans here because they had knowledge of planting rice. But the main thing was why there was so many of them and so few whites, because the whites couldn't go there because of, guess what? The mosquito and what? Yellow fever. You know what I'm saying? It was yellow fever.
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
they call it? What they call it today? Malaria. It was malaria. See, when he was saying I'm gonna come back as a mosquito, he was saying that he was gonna come back and infect, like with the malaria. Well, in other words, for the people to keep fighting, don't give up, because the malaria was gonna get their ass. You know what I'm saying? And when the French had finally came back, they had came back like, during from the 1790s to the independence, 1804. You know what I'm saying? What happened was, one of the main things that wiped the soldiers out, besides the Africans killing their ass, was malaria. Yellow fever broke out and killed a lot of them. Because see, they weren't used to that subtropical climate, in Haiti, in the Caribbean, in the subtropical regions. The malaria killed them. The malaria, worked with them. And that's what McIndoll was talking about. I'm gonna come back as a mosquito. You know what I'm saying? Because see, the mosquito, malaria is transmitted by mosquitoes. Yeah, that's what it was transmitted by mosquitoes.
Yeah. That's why. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, yeah, because he's gonna come back and like kill them, And look, that's why I was like, I pulled it up, right? It was like data regarding deaths caused by mosquitoes. You know what I'm saying? So mosquitoes are the deadliest animal in the world, responsible for approximately 700,000 to over 1 million deaths per year. You know what I'm saying? And it's basically what you was just saying, about like malaria. For context, malaria has historically killed billions of people, impacting, whatever, and playing a role in history. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's why I looked at it as like, yo, shouts out to that brother. Like, yo, I'm going to come back as a mosquito. You know what I mean? So, yeah, just to give like more context to that. You know what I mean? So mosquitoes are actually the deadliest animals according to them in the world. So yeah. Yo, you want to say something? Let me see.
Oh no, I thought you was gonna go ahead on with the pro. I just wanted to
All
interject
right.
that real quick. For
Yeah,
our
'cause I'm
viewing
trying to.
audience.
I forgot which one I had. Damn. I guess I should have left it up there.
When allergies interrupt game.
All right, so but I just wanted to show the brother McIndoll some love. You know what I'm
Spirit
saying?
that would not die. They say some names whisper in the wind, names you do not dare speak aloud.
Oh, let me ask you this, my brother. So, according to that story, right, they was like, well, he could have escaped. McIndoll could have escaped, and a lot of black people was like he was in the areas where Duddy Bookman eventually came along, and I've even heard some say that, I saw some sources say that, oh well, yeah, some people believe that he ended up becoming him. Have you heard that before?
Yeah, it's like reincarnation. It's the same thing like today, what we saying about Ibrahim Traore being the reincarnation of Thomas Sankara. Sent to complete the mission. You know what I'm saying? Or Dr. Marimba Ani and Dr. Bayina Bello, who's a Haitian sister, our historian. Her name is Dr. Bayina Bello. Bayina Bello. And she elaborated on it. She talked about that. She talked about that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? And so, for us, what we gonna do? We gonna say we don't give a damn what nobody else say, whether they believe it or not. We gonna say it's true. You know
Right,
what
that's
I'm
what I'm
saying?
saying. Right?
Yeah, we gonna say it's true.
Yeah, bury the man, carry the plan. You know what I'm saying? And not only that though, but even to the point where he could have been him as an older man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you think that's true? I'm gonna say it's true. That's
I
why
mean,
I
I
say.
mean, hey, look, like I said, we gonna say it's true. We wasn't there, we can't prove nothing, but in our spirit, we gonna say it's true. Because you know what? It's the spirit of McIndoll. We look at it like that. The spirit of McIndoll, if his body died, the spirit passed, the spirit of McIndoll passed to Bookman. You know what I'm saying? It passed to Bookman.
Facts.
That's the way we look at his spirit passed on.
Yeah, facts. I can agree with that. I can get spooked out with that one. See, now this was the kind of spooked out we were talking about. I'm with it.
Because they carry memories. Memories that make even the trees tremble. In the mountains of Haiti, where mist drifts like smoke between the leaves, there is such a name the colonists tried to bury for centuries. But Makandal, the immortal, the spirit of the forest, the poisoner, the shadow that moved through Saint-Domingue like a whisper of vengeance. This, before the French feared him.
All right. You know, we ain't going on. Hopefully, a brother made this. You know what I'm saying?
Cane plantation. Beneath the scorching sun, he worked day and night, but he observed, he listened, he learned.
Damn, I was supposed to play something else earlier, but I'll come back to it later. All right, but we'll keep going.
40-some years later, now Duddy Bookman is leading the people and led them into battle until he was captured. Now, they cut off his head and put it on a pole and put it in the middle of town, thinking it was going to scare or intimidate the other rebels and get them to stop fighting. But it only pissed them off, and it made them want to fight harder. Now, understand, as poor as they try to make it look now, at the time, Haiti was the richest colony. So, of course, France didn't want to lose it. But you know how European greed goes. The British also saw how lucrative Haiti was, so they wanted in on some of that money. So these Haitian soldiers decided to use France and Britain feud against each other to their advantage. And by using them fighting each other.
All right, and before we go on, we definitely got to show some love to the brother Bookman. Damn. Let me see. I think I had one. Maybe I didn't. I think I clicked on it and clicked off of it.
Duddy Bookman was an African-born Jamaican man that played a major part in inspiring the Haitian Revolution. He was born in...
Hey, and peep that sentence. African born, or say that again.
Bookman was an African-born Jamaican man that played a major...
African born Jamaican man, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't trying to say, but I'm saying the African and the Jamaican, you know what I'm saying? So he was an African in Jamaica, you know, just for the hatred that we have for each other.
Inspiring the Haitian Revolution. He was born in Senegambia, Africa, but was later shipped to Jamaica. While in Jamaica, he was caught teaching other slaves how to read, so he was shipped to Saint-Domingue, which is modern-day Haiti. He got the name Bookman because he taught himself how to read. He was a spiritual leader whose prayers and rituals inspired many slaves. Scholars aren't sure exactly which form of African spirituality he practiced, but they know for sure that he definitely was not Christian. He once said, if you want to win, cast aside your white God, embrace your African spirituality. You are free. He held multiple prominent positions. He used this opportunity to
Hold on, I'm sorry. Say that one more time, sister.
embrace your African spirituality. If you want to win, cast aside your white God, embrace your African spirituality. You are free. He held multiple prominent positions. He used this opportunity to plan secret meetings with the slaves to teach them the importance of being free. 1 week after a pivotal meeting and a spiritual ceremony, the Haitian Revolution began. Shortly after, Bookman was captured and beheaded. His head was put on display to instill, leading to...
All right, so speaking of throwing away,
I need women.
I'm not gonna actually talk about that right now. There's plenty of time to talk about the stuff that got beat into us. Let me see. What was I talking about? Oh,
congressional seats in Tennessee.
I don't know why I had this here.
U.S. Supreme to redraw districts without having to protect majority Black districts. After that decision, Tennessee leaders, along with pressure from figures like Donald Trump, called a special legislative session to revisit the map. It would likely split Memphis into multiple districts, spreading Black voters across different areas. Critics say this would reduce Black voting power and
Okay,
Take
here we go.
a Black.
of Ramesh Akbari. Check it out.
Whenever you justify this is an act of hate. Okay, when you take a Black population in Memphis, and they are Black by virtue of them being the demographics of a city, it has nothing to do with them being a Democrat or Republican. Memphis is a 64% Black city, and when
We
you
are still here.
and you sign on to legislation, you present it, and you vote for it that will deliberately dilute that voice, you need to remember what you're doing. You cannot call it anything but racism. A situation like
And I think they remember what they're doing, sister. I'm sorry.
racism. A situation like Representative Johnny Turner, who served with many of you all, who had to count the bubbles in a bar of soap so that she could vote. I think about someone like my grandmother, who was my proudest constituent before she passed, who was born in 1934 and did not get the right to vote till 1962. I think about people like my father, who is an immigrant, who was not able to vote until 2002, who has voted proudly since then. You cannot
there we
sugarcoat
go.
this. You cannot say, well, we just want one more Republican seat, because that district is not Democratic because it's a collection of Democrats. It's because you have a collection of
Wait, hold on. She didn't say it's not that district is not Black because of redlining and segregation and all this other nonsense. It's Democrat because of whatever reason.
who are
Oh, because they gerrymander the same damn way, don't they? No, I ain't gonna go there because y'all cool with that one.
electing the candidate that they choose based on the very serious needs they have, like education, like our hospitals, like our transit, where they are able to get funding very specific to that area.
So as you saw there,
So my brother, you want to say something about that, my brother? We
I'm
still
just
here.
like, yeah. Well, okay. Let me not go down like that. Let me go hit
Yeah,
low
man.
like
So
that.
some of my brothers are some love, brother. Don't kick them while they down, man.
Yeah.
I love y'all, brothers.
I'm just like, okay. First thing I'm gonna say this here. I don't even know the use of a Black politician. You know what I'm saying? Their usefulness to us, because they don't ever talk about nothing that's talking about helping us. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's gonna be some for the benefit of the American people and all of this. You don't hear them talking about nothing that's gonna benefit Black people. You're a Black person. You're supposed to be up there. We send you there. Whatever I'm saying, we the voters, the Black voters, send you there to Congress. Whatever. Whether you're the House of Representatives or the Senate, or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Send you there. And time you get there, you become one of them. Well, we know it because it's a part of the American system. We already know that. You know what I'm saying? I already know that. I already know that they're worthless. They're useless. They're absolutely useless. Even though you're going to have a hard time convincing our people that. But, this whole gerrymandering thing. Look here. Okay, the Republicans doing it now because they in power. But the Democrats did when they was in power. To get these black voting blocks, to help them. They did the same thing. So, I mean, I'm not like, well, one was good and one was bad. They all were bad. You know what I'm saying? Because we know what the intent was. But I'm just saying, while we study our Black political leaders and study up here talking about this and how they disenfranchising us, all of this bullshit, you know what I'm saying? But you don't hear none of these motherfuckers talking about us pooling our money together, our resources together. You know what I'm saying? Us buying land. You know what I'm saying? And us building farms. You know what I'm saying? So we could have our own food production. You know what I'm saying? We could have our own grocery stores. All of this stuff. I understand what politics is and what they do in Washington, D.C. But I'm talking about what we as Black people could do on the ground for ourselves. You know what I'm saying? We ain't talking about going there asking some hunkies to do this and we know they ain't gonna do nothing. I'm saying what we could do for ourselves. You ought to see these people don't advocate for none of that. You know what I'm saying? Black farms, support Black farmers. We still got Black farmers. Us buying land. You know what I'm saying? Us building our institutions and everything. You don't never hear these politicians talk about none of that shit. But they'll go and talk about some shit like this here, which to me is like a red herring. We're gonna throw it. They trying to redistrict in us. Motherfucker, you ain't never had no power in this country, and you ain't never gonna have none. You know what I'm saying?
Which district was yours?
I don't care what you do, you ain't gonna never have none. Not long as this motherfucker 66% white, you know what I'm saying, 14% black, and the other people of color, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gonna have no power anyway. You know what I'm saying? So this, to me, this is just some bullshit that they talking about. It's important to somebody. And we know some of our black brothers, Democratic, but they'll say, well, this is wrong, Anthony, you know, or whatever. Oh, yeah, we already know that part there. Okay. But I'm saying they ain't talking about nothing concrete. You know what I'm saying? For black people, what we could do for ourselves on the ground right now. You know what I'm saying? They ain't talking about nothing, like I said, building our institutions, you know, buying land, building farms, you know, building grocery stores, we don't even got no goddamn hospitals, man. You know what I'm saying? Now, what if the war kicked off, you know, black versus white, you know, we got black rebels all in the country, all wherever, you know, fighting against the government forces, whatever. You know what I'm saying? What doctor we gonna go to? We ain't got no motherfucking hospitals. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we ain't got a black hospital or a black clinic in our community where, you know, a guerrilla fighter could sneak in and go and get fixed on, you know, get operated on. You know what I'm saying? Then get well and go back into wherever wherever in the city and continue to fight. We don't have none of that shit. What I'm saying, our infrastructure. We don't even have infrastructure for our community. You know what I'm saying? This is the shit that motherfucking black politicians need to be talking about, building stuff like that. Instead of this for the American people and all this old bullshit and this the shit that they talking about, man. You know, it makes no sense, man. A black politician is totally useless to black people at the end of the day. And like I said, what you up here talking about, they disenfranchised. Motherfucker, you've been disenfranchised for 400 years. You know what I'm saying? All you motherfuckers did is got a seat at the table up there. And y'all ain't thinking about our black ass. That's why you don't never do nothing for our black ass and never push real shit. You know, that shit that just make me laugh, man.
Look, bro. Hey, look. What can I say when you right? What can I say when you preaching? And I had something pulled up. That's why I can't get off here because I wanted to show you something. I thought I had it pulled up because I wanted it to be the positive thing. So I don't know where it's at. Okay, here it is. And let me say this too, because the brother was like, we don't have allies. They still ain't fixed the police problem we have in this country. You know, and that's the thing that is kind of irritating because like we was the ones that was mad this whole time. Now they finally mad. I'm not even mad no more. I'm happy that they're mad now. You know what I'm saying? So like it's crazy. But I wanted to show you this, my brother, because speaking of creating our own stuff, and that's the thing, right? Because our people was there for representation, right? You know what I'm saying? And the only way is for you to control your own institutions. Like my brother was saying, our black politicians don't speak up for, I mean, that's just is what it is. I don't know which district that you have. And not only gerrymandering, y'all should probably look up prison gerrymandering because this has been going on the whole time. Speaking of 3/5 of a human type of thing, you know what I'm saying? But so I want to show something positive real quick. So check these
Spelman
sisters out.
College in Atlanta have built something they call Plant GPT.
Hi, Diaspora family. It's Shay Richburg here. Decrease food insecurity, urban farming, and they know that this application will actually be part of a $25 billion industry in the future. So without further ado, let's jump right in and let me show you the video.
If plants could talk, what would they say?
The highlight intensity is burning my delicate foliage.
A group of young women from Spelman College in Atlanta have built something they call Plant GPT.
We collect data using sensors, and this data gets sent to our LLM, Llama, which generates tailored care recommendations. These recommendations are then sent to a Python text-to-speech library, which convert the text to speech.
Okay, so that was a great introduction to this story. So we're going to dive in a little deeper, and I'm going to explain a little research that 8 in 10 households actually have gardened in 2024. And I'm assuming that that number may have gone up in the recent years. And nearly 50% of those gardeners
So basically, these sisters have created some kind of AI thing that kind of helps you raise plants and stuff like that, because one law that I talked about was how they made it illegal for us to know about plants, which goes along with healing. You know what I'm saying? Most of these medication companies, they add a bunch of chemicals, but the healing product of it is usually coming from a natural herb or something like that. You know what I'm saying? And us learning how to find healthier solutions to like medical problems so y'all don't have to quit your or get the jab so you don't quit your, what I'm saying, job making $20 an hour or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like all of that stuff comes from your food. Food can come from that, medicine, but also poisons, weapons, you know what I'm saying, all sorts of stuff. You know what I mean? So speaking of creating our own stuff, and we can't say that we don't have the brain, like we don't have the intelligence, right, to create things, you know what I'm saying, to learn how to get products out of the ground, create our own stuff, you know what I mean? um but yo, you want to say something, my brother?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct, man. That was a great piece right there. If you think about it, okay, one day go sit down and talk to your mama. You know what I'm saying? Forecast. Go and talk to mama forecast. And listen at her talk about and listen to her talk about her grandmama. Talk about her grandmama, her mama and her grandmama. Especially I know over there where y'all at over there on that in that part of the country. You know, they had a wide knowledge of plant knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Of going out there and know these plants. It's just like, for example, my granddad. I remember when I was a small boy, man, probably about 9, 10, maybe 11. My grandfather, we stayed at my grandfather at his old house. He'll go on the side of the house and pick up some leaves off the house and pick them up and go in there and boil all. What you doing with this tea? You know what I'm saying? I mean, to me, when I seen those leaves, I don't know how many times, and I thought it was just some grass. You know what I'm saying? What I'm saying, they had that plant knowledge, that knowledge of plants and and herbs and stuff like that. I mean, it was widespread among black people from Virginia to to the Carolinas and across the southern United States, man. We always had that plant knowledge. We bought it with us from Africa, you know what I'm saying? And then when we got here to this new place, we had to learn the landscape here. They learned it from the so-called the Native American, the indigenous people. And, I mean, until we built up a whole thing, a whole culture of plant knowledge, of roots, of root knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Which today, we call it hoodoo. Which it meant root work. And we used all of that kind of stuff to cure ourselves back then when we couldn't go to hospitals. When there wasn't no doctors around. You know what I'm saying? I can remember my mom's second husband. His name was Woodrow Moore. He was a country boy from north of Shreveport, a country town. And like across the street from our house, it was a school. The school elementary school I went to. It was a plant that growed up the wall. And I just always thought it was just some old wild plant, never paid attention to it. I was sitting down with him one day. He said that was whatever. I can't remember the name of it. And he used to go over there and pick it and come over there and boil it. And it was for medicinal purposes. I forgot the name of it. I wish I could remember it. But it growed up the wall. And it was the one thing about it, it was poisonous if you didn't cook it right. You know what I'm saying? It was poisonous if you didn't cook it right. But if you did it right, you know what I'm saying? It was a medicinal herb. And so, I mean, we've always had that plant knowledge now, which you don't see it as much now. And that's why it's a joy to see these young ladies, our young people getting into that kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Because it's something that it was a tradition with us. You know what I'm saying? And it's good that, it's making a comeback now where you see you could be on social media, you hear a lot of these botanical sites and things like that. Well, a lot of black people, particularly a lot of black women who are healers and everything, who are getting into the plant knowledge, the old root knowledge that we used to have. Yeah. I just want to throw that in real quick.
Right. No, that's a fact. And right. And speaking of like that whole medical industry will be brought to its knees if black people, what I'm saying, did that. But back to regularly scheduled programming, and I'm gonna make this tie in because this is off. I was supposed to show this earlier, but I'm gonna make it tie into the next part of the Haitian Revolution, and we're gonna wrap it up soon. Damn. All right, hold on. Let me start it over. Um, the brother, a follower of No Man, said poke salad was a tradition at his granny's house in the 80s.
Hey, tell that brother I appreciate that, man. That poke salad, I remember that.
Yo, can you hear this video? Can you hear that?
I can't hear it. Can't hear it.
Okay. I don't know why these things don't work right.
Seminary students last night, and they asked me to capsulize what's happening in Birmingham, and I informed them that the lynching tree is now the legislative chamber.
What?
That Jim Crow is now bathed in legal language.
Now?
That supremacy is sitting up here wearing Alabama pins.
Ohio pins, Virginia pins.
That democracy is once again being dragged to death on the back of somebody's pickup truck with a flag.
Yo, by the way, that was in 1990 something, all right? Wasn't the brother who got dragged, and then they still added it to the gay bill? You know what I'm saying? They tried to add it to some gay stuff. But yeah, that brother, that was in like 80
James
something.
Byrd.
Yeah.
Yeah, James Byrd.
Damn, when did it stop? 2008? That's when racism stopped? We made it, I guess, in 2008. And Ross said they still use herbs for healing. She's never been to the doctor. And Follow No Man said most consider it a weed, but not Southern blacks. Early in the 90s, Texas, that happened. Yeah.
Violence with neckties on and lipstick.
So they took the robes off and put on neckties.
It has once again been confirmed.
Oh, by robes, I mean judge robes. You know, that's what they've been since what?
Supremacy
At least in the 80s. That's when I was born.
That democracy is once again being dragged to death on the back of somebody's pickup truck with a flag. Violence with neckties on and lipstick. I said this to my students. It has once again been confirmed in the state of Alabama that the garments of segregation, disenfranchisement, racism, and evil are still stylish and fashionable.
Now, I've missed something because when I was a kid, my school was like 90% black and we didn't have nothing. My neighborhoods was black people. Like I go to the hoods and that's black people. You know what I'm saying? Now your money is integrated. That's for sure. You know what I'm saying? Your teachers are probably white bitches. You know what I'm saying? All of that stuff is integrated. Okay, I'll give you that. You've been able to give them your money so they can spit in your food or whatever they do. You know what I'm saying? Instead of going to the black people who, like, it got my brother eating chillins because we think it's a delicacy. You know what I'm saying, my brother? You know, that's how good black people are. You got my brother still eating chillins out here. You know what I'm saying? I'm just messing with you, my brother. But the fact that we still rather go to them for some food. Yo, we nice, brother. We get. Yo, I went to this black barbecue place. I met the owner and everything. He was cool as hell, you know what I'm saying? Like he was talking about my dog, you know what I'm saying, and like won't scared or nothing. But an older black man, you know what I'm saying? I forget the name of the place. Damn, I should have wrote it down. But I know where it's at. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna show it after this. But yeah, man, we was like, yeah, nah, forget that. I want to go to McDonald's, you know what I'm saying?
Through your social, political, and Christian nationalist religious communities. We are here again because the tips of your hoods have once again signed off on legislation that fractures the political skull of black folk.
Mr. Harris, do you have anything to say about the bill, about the legislation?
This is the legislation because you are speaking against black folk. You don't want us present. You want to erase who we are. You want to erase our history. And the truth is, hell no, we won't go.
Yo, my brother, Look at this. I know you've seen this movie before. He said, "Hell no, we won't go." And by the way, y'all see, like, it's way more people in here than it says is in here. But hell no, we won't go.
My people can't here any longer and be influenced by a man who has dedicated his entire life to sabotaging his own people. Now is not the time for trickery and tomfoolery. My people were brought here involuntarily, and involuntarily is the only way they're gonna take me out.
Okay. Let's see what this brother just said. I heard the same thing.
You don't want us present. You want to erase who we are. You want to erase our history. And the truth is, hell no, we won't go.
Oh no.
Terrence, thank you for your comment.
I speak to you today as the pastor of the Tabernacle Fellowship of Birmingham, Alabama.
Not Tabernacle. My brother, it might be 250 years. My brother, I might be wrong. But we ain't gonna sleep with him enough to be mulatto, brother.
When I hear stuff like that, like I hear things like, some of my brothers and sisters who with the Democratic Party thing, they may look at it another way. But when I hear stuff like that, I hear weakness. That sounds like weak shit to me. You trying to erase our history, our culture, whatever. How in the hell can another motherfucker erase your history and culture? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna tell you why. Because you trying to make your history and culture part of their history and culture. You know what I'm saying? You want them to you want recognition from them about your history and culture instead of teaching your history and culture to your people. You know what I'm saying? Instead of we want everybody to accept us. It's all about being accepted. You know what I'm saying? And to me, that's just some weak shit. You know what I'm saying? You don't hear them Jewish people running around there talking about y'all because they don't even look to convert nobody. You know what I'm saying? Y'all come on and embrace Judaism. Or y'all come and embrace Jewish culture. We don't the motherfuckers want to go out there and spread our culture and to invite everybody in our shit. You know what I'm saying? Or us to be a part of their shit and accept us. What I'm saying, recognize our contributions to America. You know what I'm saying? See, that's your motherfucking problem. You too busy trying to be American, be an American instead of being a black person and an African who what you is. Running away from your own goddamn self. You know what I'm saying? You running away from your damn self to be themselves. You will never look. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you, black people in this country, something right now. You are not an American. You have never been an American. You know what I'm saying? An American is a European settler. Mostly English, but others too. A European settler who came here.
A rapist.
Yeah, who came here, seeing these people in their country, in their own land. They committed genocide, mass murder, rape, pillaging, all kind of heinous crimes against those people, and stole their shit and parlayed it into an empire for them. And along the way, went over there and bought your black ass over here to help them parlay it. In the forced labor and enslavement, to help them parlay it into an empire. They ain't never. That's what an American is, a European settler, an English settler who came over here. You ain't never been no motherfucking American. That's why when you fill out an application, you got to say African American or Black American. If you're just an American, this is American. You know what I'm saying? But no, you got to put your race or your ethnic identity or whatever, because you ain't one and they ain't never looked at you as one. And what I'm saying is, you got to get off of this bullshit and stop running from your damn self and recognize this is who I am. You know what I'm saying? And start from right there. And build your community. Build your shit. We don't want to leave off this motherfucking plantation. No, where we going to get good clothes from? Get top of the line clothes from, and top of the line jewelry from, and and good jobs from, and everything that we could get from Master, his crumbs that we can get from him. You know what I'm saying? Instead of getting off your motherfucking ass and going out there and doing it yourself. You know what I'm saying? Instead of leaving your community, to go to his community, get your education, your training, and everything, and work and to stay over there with him. What Malcolm said, I'm the only Negro over here. I'm the only Negro over here. No, just so you can say some shit like that instead of building up your community and making your community is good and better than anything that they got. You know what I'm saying? We keep running from our goddamn self, chasing after trying to get an American piece of the rock, an American dream, when you ain't gonna never get that shit. You're not gonna never get that shit. You might get it individually, but I'm saying, but we ain't gonna get that shit collectively as a people. Not chasing somebody else's motherfucking dream. You need to chase your own motherfucking dream. And that's our problem. Here we go up here talking about you ain't gonna erase us. Erase us from what? Nigga, the American public school system ain't no black public school system. It ain't your shit. That's their shit. In which they use to not educate, but indoctrinate your motherfucking ass, into being a more controllable slave. You know what I'm saying? That ain't your shit. But you say don't erase us from the history books and all this shit. Motherfucker, you don't even think about that shit until white folks start talking about changing, talking about revising history. You don't think about it on a daily basis about teaching your children about who they are and where they come from. But y'all want to use that shit for like a political football. Oh, they trying to get us out the history books. Well, motherfucker, you need to tell your own children that. Your children don't need to go to the white man's school to learn about itself. You supposed to teach that shit. Man, I can have a whole lot of shit to talk about. Motherfucker, go
Well,
ahead.
now, brother, when you preaching tonight, my brother, you know what I'm saying? I'm coming to you. Where's Reverend Nat Turner when you need him? You know what I'm saying? Like, but you filling in the job tonight, my brother, so I can't say nothing. And by the way, in those books that you getting taken out of, it says you was a damn migrant, you know what I'm saying? That you came over here like a migrant, you know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't learning about Ida B. Wells, you know what I'm saying? You learn about Martin Luther King. You only learn about one part of Martin Luther King. You ain't learn about the Deacons of Defense and him having guns and all that stuff. You don't learn about that part. You just learn the part about, I'm a whole little white kid's hands and stuff, But they're taking that away from us, so, what are we gonna do?
Director of Black Lives Matter Grassroots, Birmingham, Alabama. And we say to you, if we have to meet
Yo, I had so it's the first Black Lives Matter activist I've seen, probably seen another one, but I had one that come on here. It was a white boy though. And I'm pretty sure it was a setup and it was probably fake, but my question was, so what's going on with the money then? And it was like, we still like, let me translate it later for you. We steal everything from you Negroes. We profit on the first half, you know what I'm saying, where we enslave you. We're going to profit on that half, but we're also going to profit off of the part where we hurt you too, like where all of the pain and struggle and all that stuff we caused. Now we're going to make profit off of that. And then which was an added bonus, you know what I'm saying? The whatever you create off of that pain and struggle, we're gonna then market and promote it and make the money ourselves and tell you what you can and can't do within that genre, and then limit it to, you know what I'm saying, like, okay, we're gonna make this popular and that popular, you know what I'm saying? But we still here though, I can say that, you know what I'm saying? We ain't going nowhere.
and we say to you, if we have to meet you at Edmund Pettus Bridge
Oh
again,
Lord.
we will meet you there. No justice!
Oh hell.
No justice! No
By the way, who gets the least amount of justice, but who's the most peaceful? Ain't that something? Like the ones who gets the most justice is the least peaceful. They riot on the damn Capitol. You know what I'm saying? And they get the most justice. They get the most opportunities, and they would riot. But who gets the most? He talking about meet you on the damn Edmonds Pettus Bridge to do what? To get beat up? To turn the other cheek? Like what are you talking about, bro? No justice, no peace, you know what I'm saying? Or all no justice, all peace.
Hey, 4K to get ran over and shitted on by some horses.
Get bit by some dogs.
That's what he want to do.
Get hit by some water hoses, I guess. Lord have mercy. I'm gonna turn the other cheek. I ran out of cheeks though. I'm gonna be honest with you. I've been stabbed in every inch of my back. I don't have no more room on my back. I don't have no more cheeks to turn. I'm sorry. Call me in 200 years when y'all, if y'all figure out this integration stuff ain't gonna work. Get him off the damn mic. And anyway, okay, I can only go through one more part of history. You know what I'm saying? Because I have more stuff, but we're gonna end it after this last point. We're gonna make that make sense to this whole history thing. And we gotta have an uncomfortable conversation coming up about this Haitian Revolution. We ain't get to the end part about did they win or not yet. You know what I'm saying? That's in another 20 years now. You know what I'm saying? So
the Haitians were able to take control of more of the land. And pretty much during this time, the streets were like a battlefield. So since France was also fighting Britain for Haiti or Hispaniola, they just didn't have enough power to stop the Haitian Revolution. So at first, France tried to offer amnesty to Haitian soldiers if they laid down their weapons and peacefully surrendered to slavery. But of course, nobody was going to do that. Who would peacefully become your slave just because? Especially when you're gaining more control of the land. So then the French captured about 3.
I'm sorry. Let me so this brother, follower of No Man, he says, we probably got one paragraph in history books about us. I stayed suspended for not wanting to study or do reports on crackers. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, facts, you know what I'm saying? And like I said, I didn't even know who Ida B. Wells was until I learned on my own, let alone David Walker or you know, Gabriel Prosser or any of these brothers. And my brother Anthony knows so many more brothers. Like I'm only in my lane. I know a little bit of stuff about other stuff, but I'm only in my lane. You know what I'm saying? My brother Anthony knows a lot more and a lot more about this too, you know? And then my brother said, it trips me out when I see our people holding phones telling on the white people for doing something or saying something when all they had to do was put them paws on them, right? It'd be like, oh, imagine a deer going into a lion den, like, yo, look at this. Look at how this lion is treating me. Yo, this lion is straight biting my arm. And like, yo, what is going on? Like, let deer integration, you know what I'm saying? It's more crazy because animals have more common sense than us, you know what I'm saying? But we think like, oh, well, all humankind and all that stuff. But no, they're Neanderthals, you know what I'm saying? You can tell by like the you can tell the difference between Kelly Clarkson and Kelly Rowland, you know what I'm saying? Like you go out in the sun, you get boils on your skin, you know, the dog like fur hair, you know what I'm saying, with the lice in it, you know what I mean? Like you can just tell, like, and let alone the behavior, you know. But I'm sorry. Let's finish this whole history thing, my brother.
3,000 people and tried to force them back into slavery. But countless other men, women, and children, even the elderly, were beheaded and chopped up into pieces. And of course, they were trying to send a message intimidating them by beheading children and elderly and chopping their bodies up. By then, it was so many Haitians joining the revolution that they could not be stopped, especially with France fighting with Britain and that white on white crime. Now, France got so desperate, they started using the same tactics as America used in the Revolutionary War. And they started offering freedom to any black person who would help them fight. But the thing is, why would they help them when the Haitian rebels already controlled nearly 1/3 of the land? They might as well fight for themselves, not for France. Now, eventually Spain jumped in and they tried to go to war with France too. And you already know European greed. They saw how much money they was making in Haiti and all of them wanted control. But these other European nations was also mad that France would even make black people an offer for freedom, no matter what the circumstances, even though the French really didn't mean it and it didn't last but a few months. But Spain was afraid that black people in the Dominican Republic would start doing the same thing and demanding their freedom. Now, after Dutty Boukman's death, Toussaint Louverture took over as leader of the Haitian Revolution.
Oh,
Toussaint Louverture was born in 1743 in Breda, Saint-Domingue. This was a French colony on the Caribbean island of Hispaniola until 1804, when it became the independent nation of Haiti. Louverture was the leader of the Haitian independence movement that occurred in the wake of the French Revolution. He was born a slave, but was freed by his owners in 1777. In 1791, he joined a slave rebellion and assembled an
Hey, brother, you was born a slave, but you was freed in 1776.
army, which he trained in guerrilla warfare. When France and Spain went to war in 1793, he and other black commanders joined the Spaniards. But in 1794, he switched his allegiance to the French because, unlike Spain, France had recently abolished slavery. His revolt created the first independent nation in Latin America. Louverture rose from lieutenant governor to governor general of Saint-Domingue and gradually rid himself of the French. Treaties with the British ensured the French withdrawal, and Louverture began trade with the UK and the US. In 1801, he turned his attention to Santo Domingo, the Spanish-controlled portion of Hispaniola, driving out the Spanish and freeing the slaves there. He made himself governor general for life, but his triumph was short-lived. In 1802, he was captured by the French and taken to France. He died a
Wait a
prisoner
minute.
in a French fortress,
I thought you
a
said he
year
kicked the
before his
French out.
country achieved full independence.
Toussaint was no longer a slave. He didn't have the mentality of a slave. He was the owner of 2 or 3 plantations. He was not of the same class anymore. His interest.
Now, this is a question that needs to be discussed. Did he actually lose the mind frame of a slave? Because black folk will tell me right now that they ain't slaves when they are. I can see it today, but I'm not gonna say him. I'm not gonna say it, but I'm just saying, like, it's just the question that I'm asking. Did he lose the mind frame of it?
Well,
It's not to be disrespectful.
from the interest
Yo,
of
y'all gotta understand. None of this is to be disrespectful of any of our heroes or figures of the past. Is to understand it from a context of today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Okay. Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, for sure, my brother.
Okay. All right. Like I was as I mentioned, I mentioned earlier about this sister. She's an elder, man. She's like my mom's age, close around my mom's age, but she's from Haiti. She's a Haitian intellectual, a Haitian historian, intellectual. Okay, her sister Mama Bayena Bello. She's from Haiti, and she can give you the whole story of of Haitian history and culture and everything. But anyway, and she's still alive. Okay, now I was watching a lecture that she had did, and she was talking about Toussaint. And plus, I read other material about Toussaint. Okay, one thing about Toussaint. See, Toussaint had what some Negroes would call a benevolent slave master. Okay, it ain't no such thing as that. But I'm just saying what. Yeah, I'm just saying what I'm saying is what some other people say. That ain't my word. Ain't no such thing as no benevolent slave master or benevolent white man. Period. White person. Period. Ain't none of them benevolent. But what I'm saying is that Toussaint was given he had a position of authority as an enslaved man in Haiti. Toussaint was an overseer. Okay, they wrote it up as he was a superintendent of Negroes. Now, see, I first read this when I was in junior high school, man, and like we had some encyclopedias, some old encyclopedias from the 1950s and stuff. Anyway, and I just happened to read up on it. I think I had seen a book. I heard somebody talk about it, and so I was like, "Who is this guy Toussaint?" And so, I got an encyclopedia. I looked his name up, Francois Dominique Toussaint. And sometimes known as Toussaint Breeder, because of the plantation, he was from the Breeder. His master was a Thomas Breeder, the Breeder plantation. Well, what I found out in my research, Toussaint was an overseer. He was an overseer. Some here, like in Madron, when Madron was doing her book reading, they called him a slave driver. He was a slave driver. But see, that's what Toussaint was. Toussaint had a relationship with white folks and with his master. Like I said, his master treated him kindly and benevolently. You know what I'm saying? So he always had this thing like in And his mentality was like between two worlds. Yes, I'm a black man, I'm an African. You know what I'm saying? I was enslaved, my people enslaved. But at the same time, he had what Frantz Fanon would later call double consciousness. Okay. Now when he defeated the French, the colonial army in France, they had the colonial army there, not the French, the main army from France, but he defeated the colonial army, and then he built a new army with with our people, and then he had the English and the Spanish tried to take advantage of the power vacuum since the French had lost, and they tried to they tried to take over Haiti, and he defeated both of them. Okay, now at this time he was feeling himself. I'm an important man. And he became the governor of the colony, everything. And he looked at himself on an equal footing with the French. Now, when the French came back with that force and said, look here, all right, this is over with. You know what I'm saying? Y'all going back to slavery, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And then eventually it turned out, well, we'll give amnesty, to all of the Haitian soldiers, to the soldiers, in the army who lay down their arms and everything. And what Toussaint being trusting of white folks, taking this white man was Leclerc, Charles Leclerc, Napoleon's brother-in-law, with him, trusting French people because he thinking, they look at me, I'm a human being. My master treated me in a humane way. So I think, white people, seeing me in this position of power, look at how, he's a human being just like us, an equal human being like us. And he trusted white people too much. And what happened when he came there to the office surrender, and they we're gonna get amnesty. What the white man did was say, "Fuck that nigga, we got your ass," and they arrested him, put him on the ship, and took him to France. You know what I'm saying? Because see, he suffered from that double consciousness thing. You know what I'm saying?
Oh well, that the problem is though, my brother. It sounds like a not regular black man that you see down the street, don't it? Suffer from double consciousness.
Yeah.
So you break this.
I'm saying so. Where Toussaint was that, you had like the brothers coming up after him, like Dessalines was like, man, fuck all these white people, we killing all of them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fuck all that. But he suffered from. I know you want to go that far, but yeah, Toussaint suffered from double consciousness. It's the same thing with like the rebellion in South America and Guyana, with the Berbice rebellion, and the brother who was an African-born brother who's from what is now modern day Ghana. His name was Kofi. He had double consciousness. You know what I'm saying? He was caught between his benevolent master and the freedom of his people. You know what I'm saying? And went through the same thing, which it messed up that revolution. So yeah, that whole go ahead on, bro.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off because you cook but I just wanted to add to this because this is what I'm saying, my brother. So they said, well, he overcame this mindset of a slave, but the question is, did he really? Because one thing that you said that kind of stood out was like, oh, well, he thought he was on equal footing as the friend. Why? He beat their ass. Say he's on a higher footing. You know what I'm saying? But he thought he was on an equal. Why is that? You know what I'm saying? It seems like he's putting them on a higher scale than even himself,
Okay. Now think of this here now. Think of this right here. Now, when Toussaint had gained control of the island, after he had defeated the local French colonial army and then the British and the Spanish, he had control of the island. Now, you would think that he would declare independence. Hey, we the republic. Because see, a lot of people get Haitian history mixed up. They think that he was the founder of independence. No, he wasn't. He was a colonial governor.
He was not.
Yeah, he was a governor. No, he was still in the service of France. No, in his mind, he said, well, he had autonomy because I'm running it, but he did not declare independence. He still recognized France as as the mother country. How we talking about Britain, the mother country. Over here, that shit they tell us, the motherland, the mother country, England. Well, I'm saying that's what he do. He was careful. He was a shrewd politician. He was shrewd politically, but he didn't know the people who he was fucking with. You know what I'm saying? He was thinking that, like I'm saying, they gonna see me as a man, like I see them as a man, as we being equal. Yeah. So yeah, he evolved from that slave mentality of hold your head down and get beat, and get brutalized. So I'm a man. And I'm not a slave. I don't have that slave mentality no more, but I'm on an equal basis, equal footing with you. But like I said, he didn't know who his enemy really was. No, he thought that these people would deal fairly. You know what I'm saying? Because remember, that was in the 1790s, that was the revolution in France. You know, when they were talking about the rights of man and all this old bullshit that they said, he didn't know that didn't extend to black people, to Africans. He thought it extended to everybody. You know what I'm saying? And see, and that was his dilemma, thinking that these people were humane, thinking that these people were really about humanity and the rights of man and all this revolutionary French shit. You know what I'm saying? But that's where he messed up. He didn't know his people, and that's how he got caught up.
Yeah, and my brother said he was the first Clarence Thomas. Well, there's been a million Clarence Thomases, but think about this. Clarence Thomas replaced Thurgood Marshall. You know what I'm saying? Thurgood Marshall is a piece of, you know what I'm saying? And he is a mulatto. Isn't he a mulatto? But that's a whole other stuff. But
yeah, I don't know what the hell he is.
yeah, well, he's something, but that's a whole nother subject, you know what I'm saying? But it's been a million Clarence Thomases, you know what I'm saying? But the thing with Toussaint, you know what I'm saying? Let me see, what was it that I have?
The masses.
But Toussaint's first reaction to the raging violence was based neither on money nor race. It was personal. He went back to the plantation where he had been born to protect his former owners.
Oh, no.
Now, unfortunately...
Now, basically, so what you're telling me is Toussaint was like this.
You want to erase our history? That fractured skull of black folk.
Mr. Harris, do you have anything to say about the bill, about the legislation?
This is the
Toussaint,
legislation.
you got anything to say about the French Revolution?
Because you are speaking against black folk. You don't want us present. You want to erase who we are. You want to erase our history. And the truth is, hell no, we won't go.
That's what Toussaint was saying. That's not. Oh, look, I'm being too disrespectful to Toussaint because the brother actually gave his life for was a part of the Haitian Revolution, and because you brought up the sister, you know what I'm saying. I do have her saying something, so I want to say something at least positive.
Toussaint kind of saw
to
himself
not be
as
disrespectful.
an honorary Frenchman and believed he
But
could
I
be
mean, come
equals
on,
and
though, you
treated
know.
the same under French.
Because I'm like, yo, like leading up all of this stuff is adding up to, did Haiti really win the revolution? Because I know people say that, but did they win? You know, but let me play
have
this.
too much power.
We're going to get to a man called Francois Dominique Breda, born so-called in slavery. But I say no, he was born out of slavery, but when purchased, as they usually do, they changed his name to Francois Dominique Breda. Fine. He is going to grow as he began to come.
I'm telling you, Thurgood Marshall was the anyway. Yeah, the fact that he was for like, yo, like, look, I will do a whole thing on Thurgood because I got a problem with Thurgood Marshall. It's like, yeah, you can't be, I'm not going there
into
right
himself. He gets rid of the Francois. And what is the meaning of the word Francois? Francois means that which belongs to, is relative to France.
Thurgood Marshall was like, hell no, we won't go.
And its people. He gets rid of Francois. We find him Dominique Breda. He continues to fight. He gets rid of Dominique. And we find him Dominique, which means born on a Sunday. And we find him Toussaint Breda. And he gets rid of Breda as he comes to full knowledge of who he is and take his role as the one who opens the way and traces the road to independence. We find him Toussaint Louverture. Toussaint, the one who has the powers of all the saints, Louverture, to open the way. So, as we step 2, he does his job of opening the way and tracing the road. What do we find him doing in the last minutes, the last days of his existence here? We do not find Toussaint fighting to stay in power. We do not find Toussaint begging Leclerc to keep him here. We find Toussaint fighting so Dessalines will be named a divisionary general. We find him fighting for Christophe to have another rank. We find him fighting to place everybody where they should be. And his last word here in Gonaïve to his godfather, Pierre Simon Baptiste, when Pierre Simon Baptiste asked him, Toussaint, so you leaving us here? Toussaint smile and say, Don't worry. Everybody's in their post. The victory is already there. And he stepped onto the boat. It's called what they call history, which we call our story, which is the story of all life forms on a particular space. So the R string is a string that goes on forever. There is no cutting this string. So Toussaint does his work, and the next guy step up to lead the work of the people that are involved.
Carry the plan.
People from Grenada, people from all over the islands have found ways to come in and participate. African Americans from the United States have come here and fought in this battle over here. But all of this is sort of obscured when you have these individual type situations. Women, Toussaint Louverture says to us, women represent more than a third of all fighting troops. Children are the first people to step on any battlefield. Where are they? In his story that they gave us. We don't see them.
Now, unlike Toussaint.
All right. So we're gonna stop it right there. You know what I'm saying? And look where we are today with the French. At least this is at least in Africa here, so the French ain't going nowhere. I guess there's only one answer. Well, it's two answers, but y'all don't want the other one.
That's why on Monday during the Africa Forward Summit, more than 2,000 delegates from many French and African companies will meet at the University of Nairobi to talk, to meet, to develop new partnerships and to sign some new deals. So that's for the first day of the summit. It will be focused on business. And then on Tuesday, it will be more diplomatic summit gathering 30 heads of state and of governments from the African continent. They will talk about many different topics from agriculture.
Yeah, I'm about to stop doing these lives. I might start saying 300 years. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna start saying keep hope alive, man. In 50 years, we will not be mulattoes. We will be free.
Egyptian counterpart ahead of the upcoming Africa France Summit in Nairobi, Kenya. The summit
is one of the largest summits that we are going to hold in Kenya. And we have a confirmation of about
Lights go out.
countries participating. Several of them
Food dries up.
level. And at the same time, we have a segment that will run on day one, which focuses on the business forum. And we are having close to 1,500 industry leaders and business leaders.
Somebody ain't learning a lesson here, damn it.
Breaking out into different round tables to have conversations on.
It'd be one thing if you was using them for your own best interest and doing it on like a shrewd business like thing, because we know that they ain't no friends and we know that how they operate and we know that they not even human. You know what I'm saying? Raw would say call them aliens, but we be like, oh, right is right, wrong is wrong, fair is fair. You know what I'm saying? We got to be fair.
Potential investments on the African continent.
Isn't this undermining other, showing a damn giraffe, undermining other black people's nations
for
trying to build their own money?
From here in Nairobi, to be able to organize and communicate with a solid voice, with purpose, and with a clear direction that we want to grow investments on the continent of Africa.
What's on the
Now, my brother, I'm not gonna say a dumb American. I'm gonna just say an American here, so I don't have the context what's going on. Am I tripping, or is Negroes doomed?
Okay, this is one thing we need to be cognizant of. Okay, what France does, what France is doing. Okay, let me say it like this: France is on the brink of going down the toilet. You know, and you know why? From what those brothers in the Sahel have done. You know, for what those brothers, those three brothers have done, and what those people, those Africans in that part of the country have done by reclaiming, their sovereignty, reclaiming ownership of their land and their resources. France is going down the toilet. Okay, because see, France heavily depends on its energy, like the energy the energy like from the minerals like uranium and stuff like that for the electricity thing in France. They depend heavily on the uranium from the Sahel region, from the Sahel states. From Burkina Faso, from Niger, from Mali, from Chad. You have a government in Chad that it's still out on them here. I'm really trying to see which way they're gonna go. They support the Sahel states, and I mean the verdict is still out on them. I think that they're a possible ally, you know what I'm saying, and other regional leaders. But what I'm saying is France, once France had like a full run, control over what they call Francophone Africa, all of the former French colonies, the French-speaking colonies, they don't have that no more. I mean, they still have it, like they have puppet governments in place like that, but like the people in those countries are getting fed up. You know what I'm saying? Every time you look around, there's a military coup. They had one in Gabon. I ain't talking about the fake one that they had, but the one before that, because the people are seeing, we got progress. We seeing these we seeing these beautiful cities that we got, our capitals like Abidjan, one of the most beautiful cities in Africa, Libreville in Gabon, and these cities, with all these glass buildings and these skyscrapers. But we know one thing though, it ain't Africans in control of the economy. It ain't black people in control of the economy or who reaping the benefits of it. You know what I'm saying? Of all of the mineral wealth and the natural resources and the oil and everything that we have. And people are tired of that shit. And so what Francis did something that I never thought they would have did. They are starting to shift. They're trying to shift to other parts of Africa now. You know what I'm saying? Like the English-speaking countries, which gonna cause a conflict with the British. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you see how the whole thing going. I'm gonna tell you something real quick. They're gonna trip you out. What I'm saying, so now they go into Uncle Tom leaders like Uhuru, like not Uhuru Kenyatta, but the one who's in power now. I can't even think of the full name now. The man who's the president of Kenya now. Who's a straight Uncle Tom, the one who wanted to send soldiers, troops to Haiti. You know what I'm saying? He's a straight Uncle Tom. His own. He can't even walk the streets. Without a security guard, his own people will assassinate his ass. But see, this is what France doing now. They're trying to shift their little power thing, to the English-speaking countries in Africa, the Anglophone countries, because it's a growing thing in the form of Francophone countries. Like, no, we don't want to do business like that no more. Like you got the verdict is still out on the brother in Senegal, of fighting him. I think that they can ride with the Sahel brothers. I think that they can. It's a potential ally. But the verdict is still out because we have to also look at it's politics. We have to get familiar with the local African politics. How in the power struggles and things, the dynamics that they have within those countries. Because sometimes we'll just look at it and say, well, why did they do this here? Or why didn't they do this here? But we don't know like the struggle. You might have a country that has a president and a prime minister. The prime minister might be for this, and the president might be for this. You know what I'm saying? They have rival factions and things like that. But I'm just saying, basically, it's almost over with for France. Like their economy has gone down dramatically. Do you know they was getting like $550, $600 billion a year? A large part of that money is gone now, just from them three countries. I mean, they're still getting it from the other puppets, but I mean, just for those three countries, it was billions and billions and billions of dollars. Now, you know how France is. They had like a 40-hour work week, and they say you don't work no more than that. You know what I'm saying? Their economy is suffering up there in France. I mean, you hear it's a lot of tension going on in France now. They're like
going to be capitalist.
Yeah, we're trying to run Macron ass up out of there now. Well, I mean, but just what those three countries did, and then with other countries who are now stepping up and saying like, yeah, we tired of this shit. And the people are putting pressure on those old Uncle Tom leaders. You know what I'm saying? So cause see the majority of young African men and women, they're young. They're youth, man. I mean, they like from like 16, 17, 18, the early 20s. It's gonna be a whole new generation of people who ain't with that shit no more. But unfortunately, you got to get rid of them old Uncle Toms, that old generation. They dying out. But the thing I wanted to say, the thing that's gonna trip you out, what I wanted to tell you, okay, it's ironic that who we was talking about, Thurgood Marshall, right? We were talking about Thurgood Marshall and the problems that you had with Thurgood Marshall. Okay, now we just seen a video of the president of Kenya, and making his long Uncle Tom speech and the shit that he do. Okay, you have to think of this here. When Kenya became independent in 1962, 63, with Jomo Kenyatta, who was also, a Western puppet, they look at it, they call him like the grand old man of Africa, but he was a puppet too. He was straight, but he worked on behalf of the West. The first thing he did was start killing off the Mau Mau leaders, arresting the Mau Mau leaders, and doing all kind of shit that benefited Britain in the West. He was one of their staunchest allies. But what I wanted to say is that when they became independent, it was two men from the diaspora outside of Africa, outside of the continent, from the African diaspora, who went there to help draw up the Kenyan government. What is the Kenyan their legislation? Their body of legislation, like the Congress, whatever we call the Congress or whatever, but draw up their legislation, their government. What a word I'm looking for, Cass.
Yeah, you're right. Like that legislation, the body of their government and stuff.
Yeah, their constitution. That helped the Constitution.
Under whose authority, though? America?
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I just told you, like I was just saying, Jomo Kenyatta was a Western puppet. They try to view him as a grand old man of Africa, like a great pan. No, he was a Western puppet. He was a puppet. Okay. So one of those men was a brother who was from Jamaica. And the other man was, guess who? Thurgood Marshall.
Damn, see, I didn't even know that. Damn, that's
more Thurgood Marshall was one of them drawing the Kenyan Constitution. So is it ironic that now you got some Uncle Toms over there running shit now? You know what I'm saying?
Look, I'm telling you, Clarence Thomas did not portray. Is it only one way that you can get to this quote unquote Supreme Court? You know what I'm saying? And there's a reason why he took his place. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
But yeah, I wanted to say. See, I was gonna hit you with it last week, but I said no, I'm gonna let it go at all. And I said
we might take like a year before we get to 1950s. So
I had to let it. Yeah, I said I'm gonna let it wait for a while. I find the opportunity to say it, but then I thought there was a time now. But like I said, one of the brothers who helped draw up the Constitution was a brother from Jamaica, and the other one was Thurgood Marshall. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. Like, all right, I ain't gonna go there with y'all heroes yet. One thing I love to do is take away the heroes, but first I'll start with the white ones. You know what I'm saying? Like John Brown, because John Brown wasn't. I'm gonna break news to you, my brother. John Brown wasn't real. You know that?
He was mythological. He was mythological. I don't. He never existed.
All right, yeah, facts. And my brother said, Francis kissing butt was out. All right, and Ross, he said, having to ask for your own money and having to pay reparations to a white country doesn't make sense. And we're gonna get into it more because we almost close to it. You know what? We didn't even get to Tucson getting killed yet, so we're not even gonna go there yet. You know what I mean? And Ross said, yes, Africa has begun to unite as one, like it was in the beginning before the Caucasoids came and divided it. Yeah, facts. You know what? For the last words, y'all should definitely watch this movie. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna let this
Hey, can you
be
break
the
this
last
down for me?
word, y'all. Or you want to say something before we get into it?
Oh no, man. No. I was just thinking it was just one thing that I wanted to address. I wanted to address it earlier when the sister was talking about what Bookman or what about McIndoll, which Bookman. They said that he was an African Jamaican. You know when
Oh
she
yeah,
said
yeah,
that?
yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
and that's why I'm so glad Queen Raw is out here. Now I was studying like in the Rastafarian, culture in the Rastafarian belief system in the culture. And one thing that I know about them, about those brothers and sisters, is like, okay, as now today, I say in the context of a diaspora, these diaspora war things, well, we divide ourselves among African Americans and Jamaicans and Haitians, different groups where we from these places that we were from. But I can remember reading vividly that the Rastafarian brothers and sisters, when they talked about Jamaica, like they wouldn't talk about this beautiful island paradise. To them, Jamaica was a hell. It was hell. I mean, I'm saying this was a place because we were brought from our motherland from Africa to this place to be brutalized and dehumanized and enslaved. You know what I'm saying? And like, and that literature of those Rastafarian brothers and sisters, particularly like the early ones, not like today how you have some margarine. Now I'm talking about the real Rasta people. Now you got white boys running around netting up their heads talking about they Rasta, but that they not. But I'm saying, but those Rastas of that generation, and I know like Queen Mother Raw them, I know that they didn't look at Jamaica like this paradise or this was their home. This was a place where they was enslaved at, where they was brutalized at. And I actually read the literature where they said, like in some Rasta song, they say this was hell. No, this was hell. This was a plantation where you were traumatized at. This ain't like the beautiful paradise that we're gonna sit up here and brag about. Oh, I'm Jamaican, I'm this and that, I'm that. No, we Africans. We African people. In Africa, the motherland. That's why they always the Rasta in the Rasta music. They always talk about Africa. They talking about living in Jamaica and any other place. They talking about Mother Africa. Yeah, I just wanted to throw that in.
Oh yeah, yeah, and yeah, Jamaica was one of the places where people went to go get broken. They would send quote unquote rebellious slaves, the ones with drapetomania. And let me, just to start trouble, and not to give it a long thing, but if we say Nigerian, if we say Jamaican, what about black people in America? Ain't that a tribe too?
Yeah, exactly. We are. Hey, look here, real quick. I want to say because let me put this in. Okay, real quick. Okay, Africans in America, or okay, like we got Mother Africa. We got Africa, our motherland. Look at Africa as this tree, this giant baobab tree, or what just a giant tree in the forest. Okay, what happened? The tree got a whole lot of branches, right? They got a whole lot of branches, and they reaching up to the sky. They got a whole lot of branches. Now, some of them branches, are Nigerians, or Ghanaians, or Congolese, or Gambians, or Malians. You know what I'm saying? Or Mozambicans. Some of them are Jamaicans and Haitians. You know what I'm saying? Afro-Guyanese, Surinamese, Black Dominicans. You know what I'm saying? Black Puerto Ricans, Black Cubans. No, African Americans, Black Americans, all of them
I know
are
black. I know black,
branches
bro.
of that tree.
I know
Yeah,
black.
all of them. I'm saying all of them are branches of that tree. Okay, they branches of the tree. That's why I look at it. Africa is the tree, and Africa the tree. The the branches. You got the branches at the top, but you got the what? The roots at the bottom, and the root is Mother Africa, and the branches are all our different parts. All over the black world, the diaspora, wherever we at. That's where I look at it. So yeah, we are an ethnic group. We are a tribe, just like a Yoruba people a tribe, or just like whatever. You know what I'm saying? We branches of the same damn tree. That's the point.
Fair enough. You was preaching all night, my brother. I can't even argue with you. All right. So for the last one, and forgive me if it's too long. So shouts out to Raw in the building. Shouts out to the brother follower of No Man in the building. I appreciate it, my brother. First time I seen you in here. Much love. Shouts out to Karma 804 in the building. And happy Mother's Day. And shouts out to my good brother Anthony in the building. My brother's a genius, you know. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in there. Happy Mother's Day to Karma 804, to Raw. Yo, definitely every day, but you know, I guess I should say it every day, but happy Father's Day to you, my brother. I should say it every day, but nah. Happy Mother's Day to all my sisters out there, you know what I'm saying? Matron, everybody who be on here, you know. I guess to my mom, to my brother Anthony mom, you know, all of our moms in here, you know what I'm saying? Happy Mother's Day to all of our moms, you know. All right, so I'm gonna do the last words a little bit different because I want to play different parts of this.
Yet, I hope we can do some business together.
We wait all this time for a fucking UFO and they come here with this? This is all bullshit, right?
They're the aliens, bro.
Maybe this day's gonna go down in history. An end to poverty, end to pollution, cheap, unlimited energy for every American. Sounds like a hell of a re-election platform.
Sam, I have to go on record as saying this is crazy. But
what?
Well, welfare rolls would be cut 40%.
They wouldn't.
Care drug abuse programs slashed.
May I add something, Mr. President? You
Man,
know,
that's how
I
it's really going.
guarantee the prosperity of this great country by giving life or taking off of those space traders. I do so without a moment's hesitation. You know,
All right, so do we sell the Negroes or do we not?
unlike that, American men and women have exhibited when called.
Damn, my bad, y'all. My bad. Y'all should watch this movie, though. Space Traders.
Reasons for doing so differed from mine. And yet I was always a good soldier for the party. I sincerely believe and still believe that Black people need to learn how to stand on their own 2 feet without the crutches of governmental legislation. But I'm afraid I must protest in the strongest terms possible what I've heard in this room today. What is being proposed cannot be passed off euphemistically as selective service. At its best, it is group banishment. At its worst, it is utter and complete extermination.
Professor, that's ridiculous.
We're going back to slavery, y'all. They're coming for the 13th Amendment next, is what he's saying.
But also to give every American, every remaining American, a tax-free year. This just in, alien craft. Hopkins. Excuse me, Dr. Fanone will explain. Doctor.
The amount of melanin in one's skin varies according to how dark or tan we might be. At 2,500 milligrams per square centimeter corresponds to the darkness of, what I'd say to be an ordinary paper bag.
So the mulattoes get to stay.
Thank you, Doctor. In other news, government sources confirm that France, England, and Germany have offered their blacks as well. But the alien spokesperson is quoted as saying,
So France, England, and Germany was ready to give up their Negroes.
maybe next time.
I'm off. So you really think they're going to send us away, huh?
I do. You really think they're going to get rid of the voters' right thing?
I told you the one about the American dream. That's what all the niggas swimming back to Africa with a Jew under each arm.
You're outrageous. But you know, Piggy, we could fight back. Like the Palestinians. Rocks and guns.
Please. Like I'm going to get myself killed just to stay here. I just hope they got them little bottles of Remy Martin on the flight. Got to have my Remy Martin.
Oh, Remy Martin.
Wait, hold it. Where you going?
I'll be right back. This trade could bring our nation nothing but disaster.
He's right.
But I don't want you to take my word for it. Because after all, I come from a very obvious self-interest. Leland, why don't you tell the rest of the boys how this trade would affect your distilleries?
Blacks drink 33% of my hard liquor, 48% of my cognac alone. Who's going to take up that slack?
Why, it'll decimate athletic shoe sales.
Cool and Newport cigarettes.
Pork. 15% of our best consumers gone. Like that.
And we at the oil companies employ over 12 million people.
Okay, what's the name of the movie?
It's called Space Traders. I'll send it to you. Space Traders. You should watch this, John. It's only 30 minutes long, bro. You would love this movie. I ain't go front. I'm surprised you ain't never seen this.
How the alien inexhaustible energy source will wipe us out overnight.
Furthermore, the blacks are all gone. How long do you think poor whites will stand being at the very bottom of the barrel?
We'll have a revolution in the capital.
Before the year's out.
We've got to tell those little green men to go back where they came from. Excellent, gentlemen. Excellent. Now, I believe that this room represents a few $1 trillion in assets. I propose that we mount the largest ad campaign this nation has ever seen. We buy up every minute of radio and TV airtime, every print ad, every billboard, even every goddamn bus bench, and we flood them with the anti-trade message, SOS, save our soul.
We'll have whites on their knees begging blacks to stay.
Good luck with that.
African Americans from leaving the country before tomorrow's referendum.
Mommy.
That's Negroes can't leave the country.
If this referendum passes and we vote to send dark-skinned people up into outer space, I tell you one thing, you can forget about ever seeing another dream team again.
Yeah, you would love Space Traders if y'all like this type of stuff.
You know, we didn't bring any scientists or anything. People yourself, just entertainers.
Now I gotta play this part because this is what I started with.
My people, oh my people, the sit-ins and the boycotts of work. We are ahead in the polls.
Y'all never seen this before? This is crazy.
Oh, somebody bring me some milk, because here come a big Oreo.
Yes, yes.
And shouts out to RBG in the building.
We are ahead in the polls. But who knows how these people will vote in the privacy of their own homes.
Oh, sit down, Tom.
I am well aware of how I am perceived, but now is not the time for our petty squabbling. Now, this came to me this morning. In order to ensure victory, we must stop resisting the offer and urge the country to accept the trader's proposition. The major motivation for racism in this country is the deeply held belief that black people should not have anything that white people don't. Not only do whites insist on better jobs, higher incomes, better neighborhoods, better schools, but they leap to gobble up our language, our dress, our music, and our dance. Therefore,
Lord have mercy.
I propose that from now until the polls open this evening, we circulate the rumor that the aliens have arranged for our transport to the wealthiest and most beautiful utopia in the known universe.
AKA America.
Folks will go ape, wondering what we will encounter in this new land. They will gnash their teeth. They will even argue that to limit the space traders' offer to blacks is an unconstitutional discrimination against whites.
I cannot stand here any longer and be influenced by a man who has dedicated his entire life to sabotaging his own people. Now is not the time for
See how he don't recognize he's the coon?
My people were brought here involuntarily, and involuntarily is the only way they're gonna take me out. Yes,
People without power must use cunning and guile.
The song that was made by a slave trader.
Praise Jesus, my brother. So, what is the decision on the Voters' Rights Act? Let's find out
Now, daily scalp care.
after this commercial, of course. So somebody can make some more money real quick.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Will the Voters' Rights Act pass, be banished?
After the vote tallied, we project that the referendum will pass.
Damn, we can't vote no more, y'all.
By a comfortable margin. Oh, God.
What is we gonna do?
Fine.
Get off me, white girl.
Collection centers will be set up tomorrow morning by the National Guard.
Mm.
The aliens say that they will allow only one piece of carry-on luggage per person.
That's more than we got when we got kidnapped. So.
Oh.
We often came naked.
Hey. This is Bernard Shields. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Yo, 63 to 37. That was, hey, goddamn Obama lost by more than that. He lost the white vote by more than 63 to 37. That was pretty bad, you know. I don't know, my brother. I ain't gonna ruin the rest of the movie for y'all. It's a conclusion to it, which I'm not gonna show y'all unless y'all want me to. But y'all can go watch it on your own. Y'all should watch the whole thing though. So, my brother, I'm surprised you haven't seen this before.
No, man. You know, and if I did, it escaped me, man. Because I know it got to be pretty old because Robbie Guillaume been dead a long time. So,
Oh yeah, this was from 1994. It's like I
Oh
guess it was
yeah.
like
You know, I mean, man, I done had too many drinks to remember that, man. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I probably had seen it, just didn't pay attention to it though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm familiar with with all of the actors in the video, you know. But that's the trip though. It's really a trip. I mean, I was waiting on them at the end to start singing "My Country Tears" at these. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I ain't ruined it. I still more to go. It's still like 10 minutes in the. I ain't gonna ruin the end for y'all.
Yeah. I mean, you know, it was something else. I'm gonna look at that, and I'm gonna look at it before I lay down, and you know what I'm gonna do then. After that, I'm gonna go look at the spook that's set by the door.
Yeah. And yo, that movie right there is it's an hour movie, but this part is only 30 minutes. So it's like two different things. It's like called Space Traders, but The first 30 minutes, like this one is a 30-minute copy, but I'm pretty sure the other one is like better, but it's an hour, but you only need to see the first 30 minutes. So yeah, y'all should definitely check that out, man. But yo, I appreciate you for coming on here, my brother.
Yeah, man, it was good, man. It was a pleasure, man. You know how we do it, man.
Yeah. Shouts out to RBG in the building.
I wish
Shouts out
RBG would have came up and joined us. Yeah.
yeah. Well, not now. We about to get out of here. Shouts out to my brother RBG, but and shouts out to Raw in the building. I appreciate you for coming through, Raw. You already know it's all love. Shouts out to Karma 804. Shouts out to follower of No Man. I hope to see you back, my brother. Much love to you.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Peace
again,
to all of them, man. Peace to everybody, man.
yeah, and again, happy Mother's Day to everybody too. So as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.
Peace out, brother. I'll holler at you later.